Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 1 of Blacksburg High School football. I'm Richard Terry. This is Landon Weaver. First and foremost, we want to say that we are so happy to be here. We want to be thankful to Nikki Sellers and, of course, Coach Reese and everybody on this Blacksburg staff that has gotten us here. Everybody's been so hospitable. But now it's game time. It's the Blacksburg High School Bruins versus the Giles Spartans in Landon. It's Coach Reese's first game. What do fans need to know about Coach Reese?
Man, they need to know that he is somebody that cares about this program, Rich, somebody that is really going to help lift them and get them back to the glory days, the David Chris days. We're here at David Chris Field and Bill Brown Stadium. I actually got the chance to meet David Chris right before coming on. Pretty cool honor. He's looking to get them back into that kind of swing of winning games, getting further in the tournaments, getting further into the state championships. And, you know, he's the kind of guy to do it. He's been a part of the Blacksburg program in the past. For those of you that are tuned in to BHS, he was a part of their strength and conditioning program, and he's helped out with all sorts of different sports. But now he's a part of the football team, their head coach. He'll really look to get them back on track.
You know, Landon, you mentioned that it's been a tough running thing over the last couple of years. This team has not been over 500 since 2019. We were here at the benefit game last week. What are things that make you hopeful for this season for Blacksburg football?
2 words: Sam Sheff. He's a really, really, really good quarterback. Me and you have talked about it. He's a great baseball player. Obviously, he is the son of head Virginia Tech baseball coach John Sheff, so he's got that kind of talent. But he can sling it, and he can also run as well. We saw him break out for a 75-yard touchdown that got called back for holding in the benefit game. I think we're going to see a lot of that this season, Rich. He's somebody that really excites me, as does a lot of the offense. They have wide receivers. Kiefer Caldwell comes to mind. He's a guy that is really good on offense. He's also really good on defense, something that you see a lot in high school football. So some of the wideouts, the running backs, I think the offense is really intriguing. What we're going to need to see improvement on right now is the defense.
It's been a mixed script against these Giles Spartans over the last few years. 2 wins in a row. Before that, 2 losses. What do you see from the Giles team that might bring problems to this Blacksburg squad today?
I mean, it's their single wing, and that provides a bit of trouble for any team, middle school, high school, college, pro. The single wing is hard to run, or it's hard to run, but it's also even harder to defend because you don't really know what's coming. But that's why you get that first series out of the way. And if you guess right, if you will, you can kind of figure out what they're running on offense to start. You get those same looks. You get into a rhythm on defense. You can figure out that single wing. But Giles has some athletes. They have a halfback that's going to be holding the ball for the most part. And if Blacksburg can sniff them out early, they'll be all good.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll come back to this pregame show and continue to talk Blacksburg High School football. I'm Richard Terry. That's Landon Weaver. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Blacksburg High School football. I'm Richard Terry. That's Landon Weaver. We're here at David Chris Stadium, David Chris Field, Bobby Brown Stadium. And Landon, we talked about kind of the identity of these two teams in our first half of the pregame. Pregame, of course, is brought to you by Eagle Construction of Virginia. But something that's kind of unusual about today's game, we're still in August, and it's still pretty hot outside.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you guys can see I'm sweating bullets right now.
Yeah.
It is hot in this press box. It's even hotter out on that turf. Turf typically adds about 10 to 15 degrees to whatever the temperature is, especially when that sun is still out. So expect that to feel like 90 degrees to the players, and then you add in the pads, the helmet, the shoulder pads, the jerseys. It's heavy. It's weighing on them. So they're going to be hot. And for these first couple of games, Rich, about until we reach maybe mid-September is when I'd say in the New River Valley, that weather starts to come down when you hit 7 p.m., when the clocks start to turn back as well and it gets darker. It's going to be cold. But for now, it is hot. And, during school, these guys are preached to hydrate, and make sure they get all that fluid in them. But, yeah, it's hot right now, and that'll be something they have to deal with for the first half at least.
As Blacksburg prepares to take the field, we were here at the benefit game last week. We talked about the goods. We talked about Sam Sheff. What do you think Blacksburg needs to improve as they enter this game against Giles?
I think this is a common trend among many teams playing in the VHSL and getting started this week is the penalties and just getting into a rhythm on offense and defense with the snap count, with the opposing team snap count being, if you're on that O-line or D-line, being one unit. I think being able to be one unit, getting a rhythm with your teammates is really important because we saw a lot of infractions, offsides, encroachments. We even saw a couple of holding penalties that could have easily been reversed. easily been taken away. It's just those early season kinks that you got to work out, and I think that's one of the big things for both Giles and Blacksburg. If you want to win this game, you're going to have to play a cleaner game, and we saw a lot of unforced errors by Blacksburg against Glenvar last week in the benefit game, so just reducing those penalties.
Yeah, final score of that game against Glenvar was 17-14. It was kind of a wild game. But speaking of wild, this is high school football. Landon, do you expect any surprises? It wouldn't be much of a surprise, I guess, if you expect it, but it's high school football. Is there anything that you tell our fans that you're confident could happen that would be a bit unusual for the sport?
I think just it's hard to tell because with high school football, it's so much different than college.
Yeah.
Really just expect the unexpected. You're going to see, well, here, we don't have TV capability. You'll hear plays that should not happen.
Yeah.
We talked about that Sam Sheff run that got called back last week. What you guys don't know is that he started on the left side near hash at around his own 25-yard line. He went all the way to the far hash around the 30 and then booked it back this way to the near side and then ran 75 yards down the field. So you've got guys that are just going to be making plays on their feet. I think a lot of plays on their feet is what's going to be the main thing to expect in high school football. You might see a lot of broken coverage as well, plays downfield. So a lot of long touchdowns I think you can come to expect.
Well, one more question before we go right back to break. They're announcing all these little kids on the field before the game. You can tell that clearly the community is out and about tonight, not just from Blacksburg, but also from Giles. It's kind of a good picture of high school football in general. What do you think this community means to Blacksburg, Landon?
I think this team means a lot to Blacksburg. You think about, there's quite a large college that is 2 miles up the road in Virginia Tech. So a lot of those same fans that are fans of Hokies football are also fans of Blacksburg High School football because it is Blacksburg, Virginia. That is where the home of the Virginia Tech Hokies are. I think football is a huge, huge sport, not just in Blacksburg, but also in the Roanoke Valley, which is where Giles resides, in the New River Valley at that. So it's the first weekend. Both these teams are looking to start off 1-0. There's a big pile of red right across from us. It's a whiteout here in Blacksburg High School, so there's a lot of white light right below us. It means a lot to these fans, and a win would mean even more.
Well, that'll do it for the Eagle Construction of Virginia pregame show. We haven't gotten to halftime yet, but I'm Richard Terry. That's Landon Weaver. When we return, kickoff from David Chris Field. Rob Jones Realty is a lifelong Blacksburg resident and proud Virginia Tech graduate with a degree in business management and a minor in residential property management from the Pamplin School of Business. After briefly living in Richmond, he returned home to launch his own franchise that he ran successfully for 14 years. Upon selling, he joined his father, Joe Jones, who owned Rains Real Estate for 40 years, and an opportunity that perfectly matched his passion for construction and real estate. His local insight and family-first approach define his success and connection to the New River Valley. I want to thank all our sponsors as we approach kickoff here at Blacksburg High School. David Chris Field, I am Richard Terry, Landon Weaver joining me for analysis, and he'll be doing play-by-play in the second and fourth quarter. Giles Spartans won the toss. They'll receive. They'll be going from left to right on your radio dial, attacking the locker room end zone. That will be defended by the Blacksburg Bruins. Two back deep to return for Giles. One is Jacob Mills, and one is Bryson Atkins. Ethan Loudermilk, to kick off here for the Bruins. He awaits the referee's signal. Plenty of fans out today at David Chris Field and Bill Brown Stadium. We're excited to join you as Ethan Loudermilk looks to launch the football into the air. He takes his steps, he approaches the football, and his kick, angled towards the Giles sideline, is going to be muffed by the returner Bryson Atkins. Unable to really get a good handle of that, he bounces it out to about the 15-yard line where he practically downs it, Landon.
That would have been quite the opening play had he fumbled and gifted Blacksburg the ball in the red zone, but instead we get our first look at the Giles Spartans on offense.
Giles Spartans, if you didn't know, are going to be running practically the same formation for the entirety of this football game. Single wing, plenty of running the football, and maybe being so far back on the field will help them a little bit as they look to chew this clock. 11:56 to go here in the first quarter. First and 10 from the 15-yard line for the Spartans. As expected, the single wing, and the ball is on the ground. First snap, and instant trouble for the Spartans. Looked like it was recovered by Nate Steele. There is a flag on the play. We'll look to see the signal. But Landon, the Bruins got in the backfield in a hurry on that one.
Yeah, they were ready for it. Film study over the week paying off early on for Blacksburg, and that puts them in a formidable second down.
Penalty is a chop block that looks like it'll be declined by the Bruins. So a muff snap on the first play from scrimmage for the Spartans. And it looks like a loss of about 4. That'll bring up second and 14 from the 11-yard line with 11:50 to play here in the first quarter. The Spartans still trying to get going here in the first game of the season. The clock now runs as the Spartans wait to break huddle. They'll transition one player from the huddle into the sideline as another one enters the game. The man leading Giles' offense is number 4, who is not actually listed on their roster, so we apologize if you're listening at home and wondering who the quarterback is for the Spartans. Handoff here out of the single wing. It's going to be Bryson Atkins running towards the Blacksburg sideline, and he is brought down quickly on the play. Tackle made by Max Strom, ranging towards the Blacksburg sideline as Giles looked to cut it and get a big gain after going down so far in yardage on their first play from scrimmage. They get back to the original first and 10 marker. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 15 as we pass the 11-minute mark here in the first quarter.
So far, so good for this Bruins defense. They snuffed out the single wing. One more stop to get their chance on offense.
It's unlikely that Giles will pass, but if they do, it'll present itself in a situation like this. 3rd and 10, the snap, and a reverse that's going to see a big hit in the backfield. Jacob Mills had it handed to him by Bryson Atkins, and Zach Noakes put his head down and found the ball carrier. Taken down at the line of scrimmage. And that Giles' first possession of the season, Landon, goes by quickly.
Yeah, that was not the start that they would want. And, you know, by the looks of it, Rich, they might be keeping – oh, never mind. I see the punter now. I was looking through the binoculars. I did not see a punter. Is number 22 out there.
Well, it's Nate Steele, who's also a part of their offense. It seems that Giles is going to be rotating a lot of players. From about the 5-yard line, Steele punts it. It's going to take a bounce at around the 45, cross over to the Blacksburg side, where the returner, Kiefer Caldwell, will let it roll all the way to the Blacksburg 43. But a good start for the Blacksburg defense, Landon.
Yeah, no doubt. You are able to not allow them to gain any yardage, really, in that drive. You force a chop block on the first play, a couple of balls that were knocked out of Giles' control, so really early stamp on the Spartans from the Bruins.
Giles was 9-3 last season, but they took a big blow in Game 1 against Blacksburg. 40-8 was the win for the Bruins. It's 1st and 10 where quarterback Sham Sheff drops back into shotgun. Bruins taking over at their own 42-yard line. 9:53 to go here in the first quarter. Sheff motions his wide receiver. It's going to be a jet sweep to the wide receiver. Motioning all the way to the far sideline is Kiefer Caldwell, and he continues to roll. Tackled right down on the sideline. It looks like at about the 20-yard line. Noah Steele with a huge hit to prevent Kiefer Caldwell from going even farther. But Kiefer Caldwell, he had a big game in the benefit game and starting the Bruins offense off pretty well here, Landon.
Yeah, no doubt. And he was able to catch Giles off with a misdirection. Well done by Sam Sheff to just kind of tap it. It was almost like a basketball pass.
So Giles needs to make a big play here, a huge gain. A gain of 28 from Kiefer Caldwell. That's actually a pass for Sam Sheff as well. It's the same shotgun formation. Trick Sams is the running back to the right of Sam Sheff. This time he motions his tight end. Just trying to anticipate the defense to snap to Sheff. And this time it's a muff snap from Sam Sheff. Didn't get a good handle on it. Trick Sams falls on it. But it'll be a loss of around 3 yards. With around 9.5 as the clock continues to tick, it'll be 2nd and 13 for the Bruins.
Right
now, 2nd and 14, excuse me.
Right now, Rich, the knees might be weak, the palms might be sweaty for both of these sides. Early on, you can see the ball coming loose for both Giles and Blacksburg. You think that might have to do with some of the heat beaming down on David Christ Field.
If anybody didn't catch that reference, I think Landon Weaver might be an M&N fan.
Slightly.
2nd and 14 from the 34 of Giles. Shotgun set, 3 wide receivers to his left, Trick Sams to his left as well. Sheff and a quarterback draw, going to run it past the original line of scrimmage, takes a cut, continues to push back against a Giles tackler, tackled down at around the 29-yard line. Tackle made by Landon Wood, and it took about 2 other Giles Spartans to even slow down Sam Sheff. A big body hit coming from the quarterback on that one.
Yeah, and Sam Sheff, we know he likes to run. He's also got a pretty decent frame as well. 6 foot, 185 pounds. In high school, having a guy that size barreling down on you, if you're a sophomore or a freshman or a junior, it's scary.
3rd and 12, second down gain of 12 yards, make it 3rd and 2. Sam Sheff with Trick Sams lined up to his left. 2 tight ends go in motion across the formation from left to right. Sheff will take the snap at around the 27. It's a handoff to Sams looking to get to the outside, and he's going nowhere. Brought down behind the original line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Noah Steele as the Bruins look to sweep Trick Sams to the outside, and now decision time early here for the Bruins, Landon.
Yeah, 4th down and 2 from the 13. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out on the field, and I like this. I like this aggressive play on a 4th down and 3.
We passed 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. Sam Sheff and the offense stay out on the field. Sheff with 3 wide receivers lined up to his left. Trick Sams to his right. 1 more wide receiver to the right side, far side of the field. Sheff looking to take the snap from around the 27-yard line. It's a play action. Throws over the middle, and the ball's too high. Intended for Kiefer Caldwell. A 4th down stop for the Spartans. Bryson Atkins in coverage. Landon, a tough play there for the Bruins as Giles will retain possession, or take over possession at their own Where was the ball at, Landon?
Well, I guess they must have. I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
Okay, now I figured it out.
Yeah, we see it now. Yeah.
They'll take over at around the 27-yard line, it looks like. But Giles, after a tough start on offense, take over for their 2nd time today. They went absolutely nowhere on their first drive. Blacksburg looking to implement the same success here. Another run from the wing tee and a good gain for Bryson Atkins as he kind of juts through the middle of the Blacksburg defensive line. Tackle made by Zach Noakes. On a gain around 5 yards. We'll see the confirmation. It's a gain officially of 8. And we apologize for any delay on the Giles players. We don't really have a prescribed roster that you'd want for play-by-plays. There's no positions for the Spartans players, so we're learning them as you guys are learning them as well. Back to the wing tee are the Spartans, 2nd and 2 from their own 31-yard line. A little bit confusion at the line of scrimmage, and this is going to go nowhere for the Spartans. Their quarterback who took that snap looked to hand it off to someone, and there was nobody to hand it off to. Tackle made by Kiefer Caldwell. And they will actually end up giving the first down to the Spartans, so while it was only a short gain, it was a short gain enough to get those 2 yards.
A couple of positive plays for Giles, starting to get into their rhythm. One thing about Blacksburg is this might get tiring pretty quickly. A lot of running, not a lot of stoppage. As far as Blacksburg offense goes, they get into the shotgun, they're setting up. There's time to recover for the Giles defense, not so much for the Blacksburg defense.
Right now it's a game of push v push against this run-heavy Giles offense. 1st and 10 from their own 34. 6:16 to go on the clock. A fake handoff to one running back, and then a handoff to a running back that's not even listed on the roster. Fortunately, the handoff was to number 32. He gains around 2 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 8 from their own 37. Officially a gain of 3 yards. So 2nd and 7 from their own 37. On that first drive, Blacksburg was easily getting into the backfield. Different approach here for the Spartans, and they're finding ways to gain yards. 2nd and 7 with 5:45 to go here in a 0-0 ball game. Snap taken around the 31. It's Bryson Atkins moving to the right side of the formation. Going to be dragged down by a couple of Blacksburg tacklers.
Yeah, Zach Noakes in there again. We're going to say his name a lot, Rich. He's a guy that's always going to get in on the pile, try and knock a guy down. One of the formidable linebackers on this Blacksburg squad.
This is how Giles wants to play. That was a gain of 4 that will put them up to the 41-yard line. If you're an offense like Giles is, it's usually you're basically playing with a 4-play mentality every single down and distance. This is a favorable one here for the run-heavy Spartans. 3rd and 3 from their own 41-yard line. 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. 0-0 the score. From left to right, the Spartans go. Snap will be taken at around the 36-yard line. It's Atkins, and he is stuffed. No gain on the play. Easton Holt in the backfield. Landon, that's a DB making a tackle to force 4th down and 4.
Yeah, now Giles has a decision to make. We saw them punt last time, but they were inside their own 20. Now you've got 4th down and 3, and you can see a big switch coming onto the field. Giles going to punt.
I'm a bit surprised that they're going to punt here, but with favorable position possibly for Blacksburg, something you got to consider for the Spartans.
Don't rule out the fake either. You never know.
Well, they do have Nate Steele back there, who's one of their captains. You assume that he has the athleticism to do something like the punt at the 30-yard line, and this one's a squibber. It's going to be picked up by Kiefer Caldwell, who will make the return at his own 28-yard line. Looking to move towards his own sideline, going to be dragged down at the 35. Tackle made by Landon Wood. Blacksburg will take over at their own 35. It's 0-0 with 4:05 to play here in the first quarter. Landon, what do we need to see differently from Blacksburg on this drive?
I think you saw a lot of good on that drive, and Giles just played good defense. Obviously, in retrospect, you would have wished that Phillip Reese would have gone with the field goal instead of going for it on 4th down, but now you've got a chance to put more points on the board. 1st
and 10 from their own 35. 4:05 to play here in the first quarter. The score is 0-0. Sam Sheff to take the snap from the 30-yard line, and it looks like we have a flag on the play as Sheff received the snap. It's going to be called then. It looks like it'll be false start on the Bruins.
Not quite the way that you would want to start a drive. But we also have seen Sam Sheff, he's having to jump for a lot of these snaps. So the center right now is just bringing them a little bit high, right about his chest or face level. You want to get more composure from that center position.
In fact, he dropped one snap on the first drive. That kind of put a deterrent in what was a good drive. So it'll be 1st and 15 from now the 30-yard line. Sam Sheff in the backfield. Cam Burton, the center that Landon was referring to. Sheff to take the snap now from his own 25-yard line, and there's another very high snap, and he's nearly going to be taken out of the backfield, having to create on his own, and he's going to go backwards. Loss of around 6 on the play. Taken down by McKinley Shepard. That snap was nearly over Sheff's head.
Yeah, and Sheff got lucky that he was able to corral it, bring it within, and still try and fight for some yardage, but now you're in 2nd and 21 territory, and right now you're just trying to eat it back halfway.
2nd and 21. Blacksburg at their own 24-yard line as we approach the 3.5 mark here in the first quarter. Camberton needs to get that snap down. It's been troublesome for Sam Sheff, who has Trick Sams lined up to his left. Two wide receivers split to the right and left of the formation. In motion is one wide receiver. Another high snap to Sheff, and he is brought down quickly in the backfield. It's Michael Wilson. And right now, the offensive line for the Bruins, not just at the center position, but across the line, is having problems. Another big sack for the Spartans, and it'll bring up third and very long with 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. That was a loss of 4 on the play. Third and 25, Blacksburg at their own 20.
And now I think if you're Blacksburg, you just try and get some chunk yardage here. Maybe even get a handoff going. You've seen the ball in Chef's hands a lot. Try and get it out to Trick Sams.
Last year, Blacksburg put up 30 unanswered points in the first half. This first quarter seems to be a different story against the Spartans. Now third and 25. 3 wide receivers to Chef's right, 1 to his left, with Trick Sams to his left as well in the running back position. He takes a snap at around the 18, looks for a quarterback draw, moves off one Giles tackler, but Michael Wilson comes in to clean up. A short game for Sheff that moves him to around the 25-yard line. That was a pretty disastrous drive there for the Bruins.
Yeah, not the kind of drive you would want after you stifled Giles' momentum. You had the ball in decent territory, just shy of midfield, and a couple of poor snaps, and now you're back to punting from some pretty formidable territory on your own 25-yard line. Not quite what you would want.
Blacksburg, for the first time today, their punter Ethan Loudermilk is lined up at around the 11-yard line. 1:50 to go here in the first quarter. The score still 0 apiece. Is now a late sub for the Bruins. Play clock winding down to 2-1, and they're not going to get a snap off, so dangerous territory turns even worse as a delay of game is going to be called.
Yeah, I mean, you're backing yourself up 5 yards. Now you're on your own 20. You push Loudermilk back to your own 8, 9-yard line. Giles is going to get good field position. They have 2 receivers lined up at their own 42-yard line, and I have a feeling they're going to get the ball in Blacksburg territory.
It's not Cam Burton that's snapping. It's Zach Noakes. Oaks needs to look to keep it at a favorable distance for Loudermilk. It's going to bounce into his hands. He makes the pickup pretty cleanly, and this is a really good punt. It's going to be fair caught by the return man, Jacob Mills. He makes the fair catch at around the 45-yard line. Giles will take over 1st and 10 from their own 45 with 1:34 seconds to go. I want to thank the sponsors, including AA Transmissions. AA Transmissions is proud to be a supporter of Blacksburg High School athletics. They specialize in both foreign and domestic vehicles, manual transmission, and clutches. Proudly serving the area since 1984, they're located on 591 Depot Street in Christiansburg. 1st and 10, Giles at their own 45-yard line. Score still 0-0. Another snap out of the wing tee. Lots of movement going on, but a big tackle made right at around the line of scrimmage. That's going to be big 68. Sam Paris pulls down the top side of Jake Paris. Ethan Elson also in on the tackle, gain of 2 for Giles. 2nd and 8 now from their own 48. Bruins really need to look to create a little bit more push and try to TFL. That's what pushed Giles back so far on their first drive. Since then, it's been consistent gains of 2 or 3 for the Spartans with a couple of big ones mixed in there. Again from the wing tee. It's going to be a pass by Bryson Atkins out to the wide man, Jacob Mills. He's hawked down to the flat. It's a good tackle made near Giles' sideline after a short gain.
Yeah, Blacksburg has done a good job of just kind of keeping Giles right around the original line of scrimmage. Right now you see 3rd down and 8 from Giles' 48-yard line. If Blacksburg can get another good stop, it would force another punt with 30 seconds left in the quarter.
It's funny, Giles brings out their first pass play of the game, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Great tackle made on the flat by a Bruins defender. Let's see if Giles considers passing again. 3rd and 6 from their own 48. It's going to be a run, and it's going to be a lot of action. It's going to be eventually a toss to Bryson Atkins, who finds the outside, enough for a 1st down as he's tackled by 2 Bruins DBs up to the Blacksburg 45-yard line. And that'll do it for the first quarter. When we return, it'll be Giles 1st and 10 from the Blacksburg 44-yard line.
Oh, they're still in play. So the tackle was out of bounds. And there is also a flag.
Oh, that's going to hurt
Face
Blacksburg
mask,
even a little bit more. So they say tackle made out of bounds. We're still here in the first quarter, so Landon's going to have to wait on his portion of the call a little bit longer. But we'll resume the action by saying this. It's been an interesting first quarter. Giles, after their first drive, you'd think maybe they're not going to be so successful offensively, but they've been the better of the two teams so far this game. Score remains 0-0, and now the clock will wind down to 0, so maybe, well, the out-of-bounds call doesn't really matter. It's the first down, and then you get up to the line of scrimmage. So that makes a little bit more sense. We'll head to break. When we return, it'll be Landon Weaver on the call here at David Chris Field, Bill Brown Stadium. It's 0-0, Blacksburg and Giles.
We welcome you back to David Chris Field at Bill Brown Stadium. This Blacksburg football presentation is brought to you by Price's Body Shop. As Giles High School, the Spartans getting ready to line up for their first snap of the second quarter. No score in Blacksburg, still in that single T formation. Here's a handoff to Jacob Mills running up the gut, and he's stifled for a gain of a few yards. Gets to about the 36-yard line of the Bruins territory. Second down coming up as we tick under 12 minutes to play in the second quarter. No score.
Well, you saw that last play. This time the Blacksburg D-line was all over their main rusher. That's the way it needs to be. You can't really let these Giles runners get to the outside, because when they do, that's where danger is happening for the Blacksburg defense.
As we've mentioned time and time again, Giles lining up in that single wing, just trying to throw Blacksburg off, and so far they've had some good success doing that. Second down and 7 from the Blacksburg 36. The handoff goes right up the middle. Nate Steele, a gain of another few, gets right around to the 31-yard line, a pickup of 5 on the play. It's now third down and 2. Zach Noakes in on the tackle for the Bruins, and it brings up yet another third down situation for the Giles Spartans as we take under 11 minutes in the second quarter. No score from David Chris Field.
You mentioned it earlier, Noakes has been imperative for this defense. He's really in on every single play. It's a good job there to really halt the run by the Spartans.
Big third down right here. 3rd and 2 from the Blacksburg 31-yard line. Giles in their wing formation. The handoff. Atkins going on to the right at the line to gain, and he gets past it. Breaks free down the far sideline and into the end zone. It's a touchdown for Giles, and they lead 6-0 with 10:28 remaining in the second quarter.
I would prescribe that touchdown as confusion, and that's where we've seen these big plays for the Spartans so far. It's not necessarily that Atkins is outpowering anybody, but he's getting the ball, and the Blacksburg defensive line doesn't know where to go. He finds a hole, and that hole, it wasn't a small one, it was a big one. Atkins takes it all the way to his own sideline and just takes it up from there.
The wing formation finally coming to fruition for the Giles Spartans. Out to kick for the Spartans is Carter Thwaites. Looking to put on the point. After 6-0, your score in favor of the Giles Spartans. Jacob Mills out to hold. A touchdown from Bryson Atkins has the Spartans up. Snap, spot, kick is nearly blocked. The kicker is taken out, and the flag is thrown down. Nonetheless, the point after is good from Carter Thwaites, and it is 7-0 at David Chris Field.
You know, something, Landon, that I think you said earlier on in the game that kind of has described Blacksburg's symptoms so far is that Sam Chef's knees are weak, arms are sweaty, and I know it was a funny reference, but it's also very true to what's happening right now. Something that you might gain out of running a single wing tee is that as much as there's a lot going on, it is very simple, and you know your role, and you're going to do that role depending on the play. Blacksburg right now, it just seems that there's too many people trying to do too many things when in reality, they need to simplify it. They need to use their talent. The perfect example is that PAT right there. You could try to block the PAT, but you definitely don't want to run into the kicker. I feel like that's what we're seeing from the offensive line and maybe some moments on the defensive line as well.
Giles now set to kick off from right to left. Blacksburg's Kiefer Caldwell back to receive, the only man back, standing at his own 13-yard line. It is 7-0 in favor of the Giles Spartans. Giles kicking off. They'll actually be able to move it up a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, that penalty on the PAT is going to allow Giles to take a big chunk of yardage into this kick. And honestly, if you're Blacksburg, you're probably not thinking much of returning this kick, but you never know. The kicks from Giles today have not necessarily been extra special.
Number 34, Wojciech Horan, out to kick for the Spartans. And actually, because of the penalty and roughing the kicker, he's kicking from Blacksburg's 45-yard line, so only 45 yards to the end zone. Kiefer Caldwell back to receive, as is Donald Dillon. The referee just speaking with Horan. Maybe he's not too happy about having a closer kick. Didn't want to have a touchback. Maybe wants to put the ball in play. Nonetheless, he stands at the Blacksburg B at midfield, runs in, puts his right boot to it, and kicks it all the way through the back of the end zone, going across the L of Blacksburg. And now the Bruins will have the ball from their own 20-yard line after Giles' Bryson Atkins rushing touchdown to give the Spartans a 7-0 lead with 10:28 to play in the second quarter. An opening day of the VHSL season for both squads.
You know, Landon, I think that's Giles taking a shot at me. You get to play-by-play in the second quarter, and of course we see the first touchdown there. But no, seriously, for Blacksburg, it just needs to do the fundamentals correctly on this drive, and I think we'll see some big things from the offense.
Sheff in the shotgun with Sams to his left and trips out to his left side. Sheff claps and takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and tosses out to his left. Running down the near sideline is number 3, Easton Holt. He gets about a gain of 4 out to the 24-yard line of Blacksburg. 2nd down and 6 coming up.
It was a good play there from Sheff, and that's the type of things I think this offense needs too, is quick hitters. You really need to establish an identity, and you can't do that by looking for the big plays every single time.
2nd down and 5 from Blacksburg's 25-yard line. 10 minutes to play in the second quarter, and Giles a 7-0 lead. 2 receivers out to Sheff's right and 1 to his left. The snap. Sheff takes and hands it off to Sams, running up the middle. Breaks a couple of tackles at the 35 and gets brought down at the 36. That's a first down for the Blacksburg Bruins. Michael Wilson in on the stop for the Spartans. But finally, you see Blacksburg going to the running back, and it works.
Well, you take a look there. Every single block was as perfect as it can be on a play like that. You just need to find somebody and get your hands on him. Opens up space for Sams.
Same formation for the Bruins. Sheff in the shotgun with Sam on his left hip. Brings Max Strom in motion. Sheff takes a snap, hands it off again to Sams, who's wrapped up right as he touched the ball. Noah Steele in on the stop, and that's a loss of yardage for the Bruins.
Well, the brothers of Steele today have come to play. Noah Steele has made some big tackles, and right there, he just shoots up one of the gaps on the line of scrimmage, and he just clips the feet of Trick Sams. Sams, he couldn't do anything right there. Good play by Noah Steele.
2nd down and 11. 9:09 and counting left in the second quarter. 7-0 ball game in favor of Giles. Sheff has 2 receivers to his right and 1 on the far side. He takes the snap, hands it off to Sams again up the gut, breaking a couple tackles at the 30 and gets all the way out past the 40-yard line at the 41. Michael Wilson again in on the tackle. And Blacksburg has a 3rd and medium. 3rd down and 5 coming up from the 41-yard line.
Michael Wilson has some grip of steel. That's 2 tackles on this drive to where he just barely gets the ankles of Sams and he pulls him down. These are big plays coming from that DB position that Wilson is playing. Without those plays, Sams could have had 20-plus yarders on both of those runs.
3rd down and 5 from the Blacksburg 41. Bruins trailing by 7. 3 receivers to Sheff's right. He now moves Sams in motion out to the right and throws to him in the flat. He's got it, but wrapped up quickly by a pair of Spartans before breaking free out to about the 44-yard line. 4th down and 1 coming up. Briar Underwood in on the tackle for Giles. 4th down and 2, and now you see members of the offense coming off the field and members of the punt team staying on the sideline as Sam Sheff goes back out into the huddle. 4th down and 2 from Blacksburg's 44-yard line. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the second period.
Bruins need to find a play that's appropriate for this situation. Just find those yards.
A 4th down attempt, the second of the day. Chef under center. Trying to draw Giles offsides, and he does. Referees throw a flag, and actually it's going to go as a false start against the Bruins. 4th down and 7 instead of a 4th and 2. And now Ethan Loudermilk and the punt team coming on for the Bruins, and with 7:31 to go and counting in the second quarter, Blacksburg punt.
Yeah, right there, it's going to be Sam Parrish, the right tackle, who got a little bit jumpy. That's why Giles jumped offside, because the right tackle went early as well. I mean, it's hard to tell whether or not that was what the Bruins were trying to do or if it was just a mistake by Parrish.
Loudermilk takes the snap, runs to his right, and punts the ball down the field. Ranging back is Jacob Mills, and he breaks one tackle off the bat. Fans chanting for a flag, and now they get one as Mills runs down the far sideline, cutting back to his right and now out to his left at the 41 of Blacksburg. It's going to be brought all the way back. There's a yellow hanky at the 17-yard line of Giles, and we'll get the official wording from the officials in just a second, but that longer term from Jacob Mills is going to be brought back.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be blocking the back by Noah Steele. You know, he plays with a lot of strength. He plays with, a lot of – he wants to get there and make those plays, but right there he makes a big mistake because Jacob Mills was moving, and that was a block basically on the other side of the field that didn't need to be made.
That yellow marker still down at the Giles 16-yard line. Officials teaming up at midfield, talking things over. 6:57 remain in the second quarter. Blacksburg trails the Spartans by a score of 7-0. Now the officials break up. One official jogging all the way back to Giles' 16, and they overturn the call. Philip Reese is irate, calling for the referee to come over and talk to him. And one of the officials has now spotted the ball at the Blacksburg 41-yard line. So that return from Jacob Mills proving costly for the Bruins.
I mean, that's the wrong call, unfortunately. Noah Steele took a huge block right to the back of one of the Bruins defenders, and it's one that, first and foremost, the far sideline official saw, and he had the flag down on the field, and it's one of those to where, why are you going to discuss it when it's that obvious? I really don't like them taking the flag off on that play.
Giles sets up in the single wing, another handoff, and right up the gut goes a Spartan all the way out to the 30. It's a first down on the first play. Jacob Mills with the big gain. 1st and 10 from the Blacksburg 30 for Giles. They already hold a 7-0 advantage. And after the costly no call from the referees, Giles instantly nearing the red zone of Blacksburg.
Against a single wing team, it's assignment football. You can't try to do too much. That happens because Mills fakes it to about 2 runners right there, and then he just cuts up right through the middle of the line of scrimmage because everybody else has went away from the ball. You got to follow the ball, and you got to do your job.
Giles sets up in that same formation they've used every time. Mills up the gut again. He's upended by a couple of Bruins on the play. Not as big of a gain. He's brought down at the 26-yard line, a gain of 4. 2nd down and 6 coming up with 6:20 to play in the second period. Giles holding a 7-0 advantage.
Spartans just continue to chop, chop, chop. It doesn't need to be big plays because what happens is those small plays turn into one big play, and then as the Bruins defense, you continue to get more and more exhausted.
Atkins and Mills back there as per usual. Atkins takes the snap, runs out to his right, spins at the 25, darts down to the 23-yard line where he's brought down at the 24. A gain of 2, and now a 3rd down for Giles to work with.
Blacksburg needs to step up here, and they need to get somebody in the backfield, but more importantly, they just need to stand still. And what I mean by that, stand in your spot, don't be convinced by a fake. And if there isn't a fake, you just got to follow the football.
5:30 and counting in the second quarter. 3rd down and 4 for Giles. Blacksburg trying to stand strong on the defensive end as Giles nears the red zone. They break the huddle, do the Spartans, and line up in their single wing formation. Here's the snap. End around, and Mills has it running down the right side, getting to the far side. He breaks free. He's into the end zone again, but a flag is down. A flag is down. A pair of flags are down, one at the Blacksburg 26, one at the Blacksburg 22. Jacob Mills did get into the end zone, but everybody walking back towards those yellow hankies. It looks like that score will be brought off the board.
Yeah, this time there's no question about it. You can see how the Giles players are reacting, that I think they know. Yep, holding. And that's a big play there for the Bruins. You kind of see it on a lot of these plays. The Spartans are just able to find the sideline, and there's no Bruin in sight.
So the call negates the touchdown. The referee walking the ball back, and it'll be a hefty fine against this Giles offense. The ball is spotted now at the Blacksburg 34-yard line. So 3rd down and 14 rather than a touchdown for the Spartans. They lead the game 7-0 with 5 minutes and counting on the board.
Truthfully, if I'm Giles here, I'm thinking about maybe doing the same thing. Just saw a big gain. I don't think that holding call was actually consequential to the play. So for the Spartans, they're thinking big yardage here, and the Bruins, they just need to be sure of a tackle.
Giles breaks the snap, less than 10 seconds on the game clock, or the play clock rather. Here's a snap, Atkins to throw. Thinks about throwing, now he's scrambling out to his left, breaking through tackles, and a flag is thrown down at the 40-yard line. Atkins brought down at the 35, so nonetheless it'll be a 4th down. Ethan Elston on the play. And the flag does go against the Spartans. And we're waiting if Coach Reese is accepting or declining the call.
It's an interesting decision to make just because we've seen Giles make some big plays, and it looks like they're actually going to accept it, which means Giles will technically have 2 more plays to go here.
It's now 3rd down and 24 from the Blacksburg 44-yard line. So well done by the Bruins defense so far to keep Giles. 4:58 on the clock and counting. 3rd down and 24. Giles breaks the huddle with 4:50 to play in the second period and a 7-0 lead for them. Again in that single wing formation with 2 receivers out to the left. The snap, Atkins takes, jogs up the middle, and now a flip over to Mills on the far side. Trying to break a couple tackles, but he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Jacob Hendrickson on the tackle, and that's 4th down and way long for the Giles coming up. 4th down and 24 from the Blacksburg 44 with 4:20 to play in the second period.
You know, football is a sport that sometimes you see coaches that want their players to play via intuition. When you're playing against the wing tee, it has to be reactionary. So great job by Hendricks to stay put on the far sideline. That ball had a couple of different directions before it ended up on that far sideline, but Hendricks was there the whole time.
Noah Steele stands at his own 42-yard line, ready to punt it away to the Blacksburg Bruins. Kiefer Caldwell back to receive for Blacksburg on his own 19-yard line. Giles in their road reds with white numbering. And now a timeout called with 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Giles taking a timeout, and we'll stay here for this quick break. But it's a 7-0 lead for Giles. 3:50 remaining in the second quarter, and that gives us a good chance to tell you about South Main Auto Service. South Main Auto Service and Blacksburg, proud supporters of Blacksburg High School athletics for 38 years. Make the right game plan for your vehicle. South Main Auto Service can take care of your full service needs. Don't have time to leave your vehicle? Have to get back on to work or home? No need to call an audible. They offer free shuttle service. Locally owned and operated. Call 540-953-2009. Again, that's 540-953-2009. Or visit them at 1810 South Main Street in Blacksburg.
Well, right now, it's the Spartans that have been a well-oiled machine. Luckily, they only lead by 7 points. And for the Bruins, you got a 4th and 24. Hopefully you could find some favorable territory, maybe with a bad punt or a good return by Kiefer Caldwell. But this drive, it's the drive of the half for the Bruins.
4th down and 24 from the Blacksburg 44-yard line. Giles out to punt with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Steele fields the punt, pops it up, and it sails out of bounds on the far sideline and out of play. Blacksburg takes over on offense inside their own half. The referee walking and spots it right at the Blacksburg 27-yard line.
It's a good spot for Blacksburg, and I really think they need to look at just getting a couple of yards per play, get some good runs going so you can really feel out your offense, because it's something, unfortunately, since the first drive, they haven't had the opportunity to do. If you know you have an athlete like Sam Sheff, also allow him opportunities to use those athletic abilities.
Sheff in the shotgun with Trick Sams on his left hip. A receiver out to his right as well as his left. He takes the snap, takes the handoff and runs to his right, now back to his left, up the middle. Sheff dodging tackles through midfield, out to the 40, brought down at the 42-yard line. Landon Wood on the tackle. A big play, a gain of 15 on the first play, and there is a Giles Spartan down injured, laying on his stomach and now getting up onto his knees and on his feet, hobbling off over at the 30-yard line. And we'll wait for him to get his sub. We hope he's okay.
There was one hero on that play for Blacksburg, and that was Trick Sams. He picked up a huge block on Noah Steele, who came at him like a freight train, and Sams held his ground. That opened up space for Chef to find the hole and then continue to cut up field.
Clock begins the run, 3:35 and counting. Blacksburg, a 15-yard play from Sam Chef to begin things on this drive. They have the ball at their own 42, and a new set of downs, trailing Giles by 7. Chef, 2 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Takes the snap, hands it off to Trick Sams, up the gut. Dodging tackles at the 50, stiff-arming at the 47, and brought down right there at the 48. Jacob Mills on the tackle with 3:13 to play. It's another Blacksburg Bruins first down. First down and 10 from the 46, and the Bruins working quick. 3:12 and counting. Chef takes the snap and hands it up the gut to Sams, again spinning down at the 41-yard line into Giles territory. 3 minutes to play in the quarter. And the Spartans still a 7-0 lead.
Good opportunity for the Bruins to really establish their offense, especially now that they're kind of going with a no-huddle tempo. You can't really sit and think, and you're also going right at that Giles defense that's struggling right now.
2nd down and 6 after the gain from Trick Sams on the ground. From the Giles 42-yard line, 2:40 to play in the half. Chef brings Strom in motion to the left side of the O-line. Takes the snap. Hands it off, and the play is blown dead. Flags and a false start on the offense with the clock stopped at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It'll be 2nd down and 11 from the Giles 47-yard line.
If that's not a perfect example of what this first half has been for Blacksburg, then I don't know what is. We've seen the Bruins have a couple of big plays. This drive, probably their biggest establishing drive since the first one, and then boom, offensive line mistake, and you got to go backwards.
Clock begins the run, 2:27 and counting left in the first half. Giles a 7-0 lead. After the flag, it's 2nd and 11 for Blacksburg from the Giles 47. Chef takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and tosses out to the left side. It's Easton Holt on the far sideline, slips down at the 38, right at the line to gain, but they'll mark him just a bit short. Nate Steele in on the tackle with 2 minutes remaining in the half. It's 3rd down and short in Giles territory from the 38-yard line. Chef fields the snap on his knee, and another false start on the Bruins. A story as old as time today, Rich. 3rd down and 7 coming up.
Well, that false start actually saves the Bruins. You said it. Chef fielded that snap with his knee on the ground. College football, high school, they have the same rules. If your knee's on the ground, the play's dead. That would have been a sack for the Giles defense. It made it 4th down and long. So thankfully, it's only 3rd down and 7 instead of what would have been around 4th and 7.
Ball spotted on the Giles 43-yard line. 3rd down and 7 to gain. 1 minute and 38 seconds left in the half. Blacksburg needs a score. They're down by 7. Kiefer Caldwell coming in motion to the near side, and he gets the ball. A couple of blocks. Caldwell down the near sideline. Breaking tackles. Caldwell at the 25, 20. Brought down at the 19-yard line. Trudging through. 84 seconds left in the first half. Michael Wilson in on the stop for the Spartans. But a big 25-yard gain for the Bruins puts them inside the red zone.
Well, I mean, what a run by Kiefer Caldwell. He was a hero in that benefit game, making 2 big plays. And basically the same story as Blacksburg takes a timeout. The Bruins are trailing. It looks like they're going to head in the half a little bit down. You have some penalties that stop your momentum, and then boom, Kiefer Caldwell with a heroic play.
1:24 remaining. Blacksburg trailing Giles by 7. And they have the ball on the Spartans' 20-yard line. AA Transmissions is proud to be a supporter of Blacksburg High School athletics. They specialize in both foreign and domestic vehicles, manual transmissions, and clutches. Proudly serving the area since 1984, located on 591 Depot Street in Christiansburg. Call them at 540-382-5959. Again, that's 540-382-5959. Hall of Fame Car Wash, 3-minute express wash. They offer the Legends Club wash as many times as you want a month at 1401 North Main Street in Blacksburg. Everyone breaks out of the timeout. 84 seconds left in the first half. Blacksburg being held scoreless right now, but only trailed by 7. They have a fresh set of downs after the big gain from Kiefer Caldwell, and now the ball is spotted at Giles' 20-yard line. Sheff in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Takes the snap and keeps it up the gut. Dodging tackles, gets to the line of gain. Sheff at the 8-yard line is wrapped up by Nate Steele and a pair of Spartans. It's another first down for the Bruins.
It's funny how this works for the Bruins. They're kind of giving Giles a taste of their own medicine, a read option right there, which is what you'll see sometimes out of the wing tee. And, of course, it's Sam Sheff, too. With his athleticism, you got to have a body in front of him or he's going to get some yards.
First down and goal from the Giles 8-yard line. 1 minute and 7 seconds remain in the first half. Blacksburg needing a score as the clock winds down. 1 minute and the snap is taken. Sheff dodging tackles, runs out to his right, trying to get to the corner. Sheff into the end zone. Touchdown Bruins with 55.1 seconds. It's 7-6. Blacksburg gets on the board.
Sam Sheff, right? Sam Sheff, Landon, the unnamed number 4, who is not on our listed roster for Giles, had an opportunity to take down Sheff in the backfield, and it was one of those quick one-step cuts, and from there it's Sia. He finds the sideline. The only man that really had a chance was Bryson Atkins, and from there it was pure speed for Sheff to find the corner of the end zone.
And now the Bruins, right now in an interesting position. There's 5 split out to the left side, 2 to the right. Sheff and his kicker, Ethan Loudermilk, the only ones behind the center. Sheff takes the snap, rolls out to his left. A flag is thrown. He tosses into the back of the end zone, and it is missed. The intended target on the play, number 88. Not listed on the current roster, but there was a flag thrown, and we'll see what the result of that was. Still 7-6. Blacksburg trailing by 1, as that would have been maybe a 2-point conversion attempt. We'll see if they elect to go with a longer PAT, as the signal is a false start on the Blacksburg offense. The penalty is declined. And the score remains Giles 7, Blacksburg 6 on the 8-yard rush from Sam Sheff.
Curious decision to go for 2 right there. I think one, in the benefit game, we didn't really know how the kicker was going to pan out. We heard some things maybe about injury, something of that liking. But Ethan Loudermilk's looked good today, and they decide that they want to take the lead heading into halftime, and hopefully that's not a decision that spoils your momentum.
54 seconds. Giles leads 7-6. Again, Sam Sheff, an 8-yard rush into the near side corner of the end zone. We've seen him do it on his legs time and time again. It's a good opportunity to tell you that Mike Weber, Long and Foster Real Estate, is a proud partner of Blacksburg High School football. Associate broker Mike Weber is also a sales manager of Long and Foster Real Estate in Blacksburg and Roanoke. Give Mike a call at 540-250-6727. Again, that's 540-250-6727. Blacksburg and Ethan Loudermilk getting ready to kick from their own 40-yard line from left to right. The sun beginning to set in Blacksburg, Virginia at Bill Brown Stadium. 54 seconds remain in the first half. Giles' 7-0 lead cut to 7-6 on the 8-yard scramble from Sam Sheff. Loudermilk paces back to his own 30, now walks towards the near sideline a few paces and gets ready to kick to the Giles receivers. Back there to receive is Jacob Mills. Loudermilk jogs up, puts his right boot through it, and kicks it over the head of the Spartans receiver into the end zone for a touchback with 54 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, right now, if you're Blacksburg, I know we all remember the ending to the first half of that benefit game, the Kiefer Caldwell interception, but I really think you should play this conservatively. You don't want Giles to have a big play that allows them, 1, to take momentum into the half, but 2, extend their lead. You kind of want Giles to just get a few yards and then head into the half down by 1 singular point.
Considering how they've been running, I don't see a possibility for an interception, to be quite honest with you, Rich, because a lot of this is just runs up the gut, end the rounds out to the left and right side. We'll see what they elect to go with. With 54 seconds remaining in the first half, your score, Giles 7, Blacksburg 6. First snap from the Giles 20. Right up the gut goes a Spartan runner, and he's brought down at the 30-yard line, or 25-yard line, rather. A gain of 5 on the play. Jackson Lyons, the one carrying for the Spartans. 40 seconds and counting remain in the first half. About a 5-second, 6-second differential between the play clock and the game clock. 30 seconds now. Giles just letting this one run down. They don't want to risk anything.
Yeah, and that's the appropriate response for Giles, especially if you're a team that runs the football. I mean, you could technically get yards, but at the same time, you don't want to hurt any of your players heading into the half.
15 seconds remain. Giles gets into the formation again. Here's the snap. End around. Jacob Mills has it going out to the far side, breaking a couple tackles at the 30 before being brought down at the 33-yard line. 1.9 seconds remain. That's a first down for Giles. The clock will stop momentarily as the chains move forward, but once those chains are set, momentarily the half will more than likely end.
We're not going to see a Hail Mary, really?
Probably not.
Oh, well.
Buzzer sounds, and that is the end of the first half on opening night from Blacksburg, Virginia. 15 minutes are on the clock. We'll step aside for a quick break on the Bruins Radio Network. Your score, Giles 7, Blacksburg 6, a tight one from David Crisfield. Don't go anywhere. Halftime coverage right after this.
Scheller is the VP of Mid-Atlantic Region Sales and a mortgage professional with more than 20 years of experience in the mortgage and financial services industry. Looking for an experienced mortgage professional and VA lending expert to guide you through your home buying journey? Connect with Dave today for trusted advice, market insight, and a smooth path to homeownership. Welcome into the Dave Scheller Waterstone Mortgage Halftime Show. I'm Richard Terry. This is Landon Weaver. And Landon, that was a pretty good first half, yeah?
I mean, it had it all. We had fumbles recovered by the offense, lots of loose balls, lots of big tackles, some fourth down stops, and most importantly, touchdowns.
Yeah.
And a good ball game at 7-6.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth in this ball game so far. It was one of those weird first halves to where you're thinking, is something going to happen? And then something happens, and you're like, oh, this is football. This is good. The score currently is Blacksburg 6, Giles 7. Landon, what do you think about that decision towards the end of the half to go for 2?
Well, we kind of talked about it on the broadcast. We don't know the extent of what Ethan Loudermilk may be dealing with. We had heard that maybe there is some sort of hindrance as far as it goes with him kicking extra points, but we see him kicking kickoffs just fine. Obviously, that's with less contact. We did see Giles' kicker get blown up on their PAT, so maybe trying to avoid that risk. And I think if you're going to go for 2, why not just try and go for it in a normal setup?
Yeah.
But Blacksburg has been threatening on offense. They were able to get down the field pretty easily that time and score.
Yeah.
So if you can still stack touchdowns, and in the end of the game, it doesn't really it matters if you can get PATs in a close game, but if you are to stifle Giles' offense, if you can score more touchdowns than him, you'll be good no matter how many PATs you miss or make.
I mean, this has all of a sudden been a back-and-forth game. It kind of was back-and-forth, but it was 0-0 for the majority. It was a rough inning because you don't get the PAT, but there's a lot of positives that we saw in that last drive from Blacksburg.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of positives both on the offense and the defense. I think let's start with the offense, right? You get Trick Sam's going in the run game, and that opens Shep up to kind of do whatever he wants. We saw him throw it out into the flat, get some good screens going. I love the play they run with Kiefer Caldwell, where Shep is here, Caldwell runs from the left side over to the right, or vice versa. He just kind of flips it to him. That really catches defense off guard. And Caldwell's a fast guy. So he's down the lane, and when he's got a head of steam, there's not much stopping him. And then when you get into the red zone, it's going to be the Sam Chef. So as far as defense goes, Rich, I'd say that Blacksburg did a much better job on that final couple of drives and stopping that single wing that we've been seeing from Giles. We saw them get to the 24 of Blacksburg, but then they were pushed all the way back to the 44 because of penalties. Giles wasn't really sure what to do when they've been stopped. And so I think that kind of momentum going into the second half is big for Blacksburg, more so on the defensive end.
Yeah. Folks, I want to say this real quick before we head to a quick break. We'll return for a little bit more halftime show, but make sure you stay tuned to the Big Dog Sports Talk YouTube channel, not only to see Rick, who's an incredible person, great sports guy,
doubt.
but at the same time, we'll be here all year long. We're doing all these games. So, again, from the Dave Scheller Waterstone Mortgage halftime show, we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk a little bit more about this game before we enter the third quarter. Chris Truman is a local State Farm agent at 11. I can't read numbers, Landon. We're going to try this again. Chris Truman is a local State Farm agent at 1500 North Main Street in Blacksburg. Chris is a graduate of BHS class of 1989 and has been an agent for over 24 years. Give Chris a call at 540-953-2300. Again, give Chris a call at 540-953-2300 for all of your insurance need, like auto, homeowners, renters, and life insurance. Someone local that you can count on. That's Chris Truman, agent, State Farm. We're back. Halftime is nearing the end. We have about a minute and a half left of the half. Landon, 7-6 to score. What's one thing you want to see from both of these teams as we near the third quarter?
For Blacksburg, I want to see more confidence on the defensive end. Try and blow up that first line of attack, get through the O-line, get to the ball carrier when he touches the ball rather than when he's had a couple of yards to run at you. As far as offense goes for Blacksburg, I want to see more variation in the run game, go to the pass game once you've opened up the run game a little bit. As far as Giles goes, I think you just keep – obviously, they're not going to listen to me. They're going to keep running their single wing, Rich. But I think for them on the defensive end is expecting the unexpected.
Yeah.
And – you know, I don't know if they've really thought about a QB spy for Sam Sheff. I don't even know if that would work as the train horn sounds signifying that Giles is coming out of the locker room. You know what? I'm going to sidetrack from this talk of pregame stuff or pregame stuff. I love this atmosphere from Giles.
This is amazing.
Giles. I love it. I come from Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
I went to Cosby High School, and now I'm a student at Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't that kind of there was no train signals. Obviously, high school football is big wherever, and it was big for us in Richmond.
Yeah.
But there was not like a train signal. I feel like stuff like that, there's a ton of fans. Giles travels well, and I think we're going to see a lot of that this season. And not to say that the teams in Richmond don't travel well. I think when you're closer to a big college like Virginia Tech, and high school football is just that much bigger,
right,
you see a lot more traveling.
Yeah. So one thing I'll say about that, right, a little bit of a similarity. I went to James Wood High School, and there is a team that James Wood usually plays, Sharando High School, that plays Amherst High School tonight. Amherst is a school that we'll see this season. You might know a little bit about Amherst because that's where Randy Tomlin went, and you were with the Charlottesville Tom Sox this offseason. Mm-hmm. But to add to that, Amherst is another one of those atmospheres, man, to where they bring it. And you're really right. You're going to see this so often from all these teams, but it all starts with the home fans. Blacksburg has really brought it tonight as well. It's a white game, and it's covered in white. You see plenty of people here that are here to support the home team, and it looks like they're going to have a good game coming for them, Landon.
Yeah, and we're so glad to have you all joining us on the Big Dog Sports Talk YouTube page, which powers Bruins Football Radio. He's Richard Terry. I'm Landon Weaver. Just wanted to say a big thank you to the supporters. As Rich said at the halftime segment, we're going to be here all season long for all 10 regular season Blacksburg games, and we hope to have some postseason football as well.
Well, the teams will finish up their stretching as we have about 2 more minutes to go until the third quarter action. I mean, this has been, again, back and forth. We'll set up what's happened so far in this ball game. First couple of drives for Giles and Blacksburg were not really much. In fact, the first drive for Giles was straight backwards, and you figured, man, this is going to be a tough game for the Spartans. They actually put the first points up on the board. It was a Bryson Atkins red zone rushing touchdown, and it took until about a minute left in the first half for Blacksburg to strike, but it was a big one, a goal line touchdown for Sam Sheff. As we enter the second half, both teams take to the sidelines. You can hear the train horn. Blacksburg High School football is brought to you in part by Mike Weber, sales manager, associate broker, Long & Foster Real Estate in Blacksburg and Roanoke. Give Mike a call at 540-250-6727. That's 540-250-6727. And just like that, we're a minute away. The band was on the field, but this isn't Cowan Stanford, so they made sure to get off. The score is 7-6. The Spartans lead, but an opportunity for Blacksburg to strike back. They'll receive to start the second half. And, I mean, we saw it at the end of the first half, man. I'm excited to see what this Blacksburg offense could do, maybe now that they're a little bit more comfortable.
I think that also speaks a testament to what Philip Reese is trying to instill into this program. When we talked to him in the preseason, he told us that he wants his team to begin to finish halves, finish quarters, finish games, and they finished the half on a high note, cutting the lead to 1, making a couple of big defensive stops, and now it's about how can they start off on the strong foot, get a big touchdown, even a field goal would give you the lead. You want to come out of this drive with the lead.
Well, the Bruins have their playmaker back to return in Kiefer Caldwell. 15 seconds until the Spartans will kick off as they take the field. Caldwell, the lone returner, he sets up at around his, we'll say, 8-yard line as he kind of walking back and forth, talking to the referee. Out to kick for Giles is Wojciech Horn. Horn has only had one kickoff today, and that was one that he booted through the end zone, but it's because he kicked it at his own Blacksburg 45-yard line. Giles will be kicking into the concession stand end zone. The Bruins will receive going left to right to begin this third quarter. The referee hands Horn the football, and now we just await Horn's signal to begin the third quarter. It's Giles 7, Blacksburg 6. Horn makes sure that the ball is perfectly placed on the tee as he steps back all the way to the 34-yard line. He'll be running up to the 40 to make the kick. Back to return is Kiefer Caldwell. He's the lone returner. Here comes Horn. The kick is booted. It'll be returned right in the middle of the field by Caldwell, who picks it up at the 20-yard line and comes towards Blacksburg's sideline all the way out to the 40. Now the 45, out of bounds at around the 50-yard line. Kiefer Caldwell, a big return to start the second half.
That's exactly what you need, Rich. 7 seconds have gone off the clock, and you're already nearing plus territory.
11:53 to play here in the third quarter. Kiefer Caldwell, a big return, will make it around 30 yards, really. 30 yards for Kiefer Caldwell on that return. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bruins at their own 49. They'll look to flip the field on the first play of the third quarter. Sam Sheff with Trick Sams on his left hip, 2 wide receivers to his left as well. Shotgun formation. Quick handoff here to Trick Sams, who's going to run it right to around the 49 of the Spartans before he's tackled down for a short gain. Michael Wilson in on the tackle, and a solid start here for the Bruins. It wasn't really big plays in that first half, and do you think they'll keep this identity of just keep pushing?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of those 7, 8, 9-yard plays. That's what they've been doing a lot in this game. That's kind of how they got down and into the red zone and a goal-to-go territory.
Sam Sheff will break the huddle for his offense. Now at the Spartans 49, it's 2nd and 8 with 11:15 to go on the game clock. Sheff with everybody lined up to his left, going to fake the handoff and throw it to Easton Holt, but this ball goes straight into the ground. An incompletion to Sheff tried to throw from the from the right hash to the left hash, an incompletion that makes it 3rd and 8, again from the Spartans 49.
Yeah, he just rushed himself there. There's no going around it. I think he saw the man open. He saw Holt open, and his eyes got big. He forgot to just finish the play. Slow down. There's going to be a lot more of those plays to make, Sheff. He'll be fine.
New running back in the backfield, Jose Sanchez, maybe going to get a touch here as Trick Sams is not on the field. 3rd and 8 from the Spartans 49. Max Strom in motion across the formation. Snap to Sheff. He's all the way back to around the 44. Going to have to maneuver around the pocket. Now moving towards the far hash. Flag thrown. A deep throw to Kiefer Caldwell. He is wide open in the middle of the end zone. Sheff, a huge throw. A huge catch by Caldwell. That's 49 yards, but there's a flag on the field.
Yeah, you can see Sam Sheff kind of knows where this one is going. He's crouched at his own 42, and the referee points towards the Blacksburg side, holding on the offense, and a big play negated.
Well, those scramble drills, they could be tricky for the defense, but they can also be tricky for the offensive line. There's one lone lineman standing back. That's Cam Burt in the center. You don't really know who it was on. I don't think you usually characterize an offensive line mistake by one person, so that's a big mistake by the entirety of the offensive line. But it really does go to show what Sam Sheff can do. It'll make it 3rd and 18 as the Bruins back up all the way to their own 41-yard line. 11:03 on the game clock. Again, 3rd and 18 as Sam Sheff gets the signal from the sideline. You hope that he could create another big play.
Yeah, now I think that kind of takes away the threat of the deep ball because Giles might know that it's coming, especially on a broken play like that. We see a lot of broken coverage in high school football.
Sam Sheff will take this shotgun snap at his own 36-yard line. It comes as he drops back. He's going to go deep to Kiefer Caldwell, who's down the right sideline, and this ball's overthrown. Caldwell beat Bryson Atkins down the near sideline. Sheff was looking for his second big completion in a row, one negated by the holding penalty, and this one incomplete. Means with 10:57 to go in the third quarter, the Bruins are going to have to punt.
Yeah, not quite the way you'd want to start the third quarter, Rich, but you had a couple of good plays. It's hard. Those holding penalties are something you're going to have to work out throughout the season. and it's okay to happen in the first game. Obviously, you don't want to have it happen in the third or fourth quarter, though.
Ethan Loudermilk will take the punt from his own 27-yard line. It's a good boot that will be returned on the near sideline by Jacob Mills. He's wrapped up. He's going to break a tackle and reverse all the way back to around the 19, slipping a little bit, going towards the far hash where he's tackled in the middle of the field. Ethan Ellison, the tackle downfield. That's a big man getting down there to make a big play. Jacob Mills somehow stood on his feet. He's going to be downed at around the 22-yard line. That's where Giles will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 22 with 10:54 to play. Sam Sheff, a big completion negated by a holding penalty after what looked like a good start to the drive. The Bruins, similar to the first half, have to give the ball up to Giles.
And now it's all about the defense. Can they stop the single wing formation that Giles has been using all day and will continue to use until the clocks read triple zeros?
10:54, Giles at their own 22-yard line, snap into the backfield. They fake a handoff, and right up the middle, it looks like Noah Steele, and he's got green grass ahead of him up the Blacksburg sideline at the 25, looking to break a tackle. He's tackled down by Easton Holt at the 16. Noah Steele on Giles' first offensive touch of the second half, flips the field. That'll be around an 80-yard gain, not an 80-yard gain, excuse me, 50-yard gain for Noah Steele. The math is still kind of difficult for me, Landon, but not difficult for Giles is getting the big plays. We've seen a couple of those today. This time it's Noah Steele moving it all the way up to the Blacksburg 17.
Credit to Easton Holt, though, for not giving up on the play and making a tackle that saves a touchdown and still gives your defense a chance to make a stop. It's one play. Don't let it define you, but it certainly gives Giles a lot of momentum now into the red zone.
Giles playing exactly how they want to into the red zone. 1st and 10, 10:15 on the game clock. It's going to be Bryson Atkins moving to the right side of the line of scrimmage, which is now in the middle of the field where he's tackled down after a good gain of around 5. Tackled down, it looks like, at the 13-yard line. And again, Giles, it's not the big plays that have hurt the Bruins. It's these shorter ones that they just continue to get those short yard gains.
Yeah, now, as you said, a 4-yard gain for the Spartans on that 1st down and 10. They've struggled, though, in these medium spots. Once they've run a couple of plays, they kind of get a little stagnant.
2nd and 6 at the Blacksburg 17-yard line. 9:40 on the game clock. It'll be Atkins right up the middle, and he's going to be hauled down. It looks like number 15, Jacob Hendricks, on the end of that one. And right there was a good job by Blacksburg to kind of stay still and get the man who has the football.
Yeah, now it brings up a 3rd down scenario for Giles. And we've seen them struggle in these kind of situations when they have a chance to get a 1st down. It's a small yardage to gain, 3 yards to gain for the Spartans right now. Can Blacksburg hold on after letting up a big-time play on 1st down?
Line of gain is the 7-yard line. It is 3rd and 3 from the 10. The wing T offense of the Spartans are on the field. Snap will be fielded at around the 15-yard line. It's a wide run for Jacob. That's Jacob Mills. And did he get it? It looks like it's going to be extra close as that tackle was made on the near hash. It's another one of those runs to where he's untouched until he gets where he needs to go, and it's a 1st down for Jacob Mills as the ball is spotted. It'll be 1st and goal for the Spartans up to the 7 of Blacksburg. 8:45 to go here. Excuse me, they're going to say the 9-yard line. I think that's a mistake on the scoreboard operator's end. It does look like more of the 7. So an opportunity here for the Spartans to extend their lead. Tick down towards 8.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. 7-6, the Spartans lead. The Bruins need a stop. With a 2-point conversion, the Spartans can make this a 2-score game. From the wing tee, it's Atkins moving to the right side of the offensive line. And there's Zach Notes trying to pull him down, but churning his legs is Atkins. That's a good gain. That one will be for around 3 to 4 yards. And it'll turn into 2nd and goal, what looks like at the 2-yard line.
You're going to see Blacksburg really load up the box here on these next few plays with hopes of stifling them right at the line of scrimmage and maybe drawing them back a few yards as well.
Football is a game of push v. push, and right now the Bruins are getting pushed. They need to find a stop here. Wing T again for the Spartans. Don't expect anything different. The snap will be taken at around the 5-yard line. It's Atkins moving to the right, now up the middle of the formation where it looks like he will get stopped. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play. It'll put them at around the 2, maybe 1.5 yard line. It'll make it 3rd and goal. And boy, if the Bruins could make a tackle, make a big push here for a TFL, this place would go insane.
And you have to think with the down and distance, this is 4-down territory for Giles. I don't see them kicking a field goal. I see them trying to get a touchdown and extending this lead to 8.
I'm sure that Philip Reese right now is thinking, maybe even saying, 2 more plays. Get yourself off this field. 3rd and goal from the 2. The Spartans looking to make it a 2-score game, potentially right up the middle. It's Noah Steele, and it looks like he found the end zone. The Spartans extend their lead with 7:05 to play in the 3rd quarter. No PAT yet. It's 13-6 Spartans.
Yeah, you saw that coming, Rich. It's hard to put up a defensive stand for that many plays, and they had the Bruins just for a few plays, but they couldn't do it one more time, and now they lead 13-6 with the PAT pending.
As Carter Thwaites comes out to kick the PAT, football is a momentum sport, and Blacksburg looked like they were a play away from really flipping the script of this ball game. A yellow flag comes on the field, and that touchdown's wiped off for the Bruins. It was around a 50-yard touchdown pass to Kiefer Caldwell that we saw go backwards, and then just like that, the Spartans take the field, and Noah Steele, he has the big run to put them in the red zone, and he has the touchdown to finish off the drive. At National Bank, we love to help our customers live their best financial lives. With banking built on values, quality service, honesty, and respect for every customer we serve. We offer a complete lineup of savings and checking accounts, loans, wealth management services, and more, all with outstanding value and fair and transparent terms. In the 134 years since we first opened in Blacksburg, we have grown with our communities and now operate 28 offices across Southwest, Western, and Central Virginia. Whatever your financial needs are, we're here to help with the personal attention and care you deserve. That's National Bank, and here at David Chris Field, Bill Hill Stadium, Bill Brown Stadium.
Third time's the charm.
A lot of names going on here. Well, hopefully for the Bruins, second time's the charm here in the 3rd quarter. They trail by 8. I'm surprised that the Spartans didn't go for 2, potentially to make it a 2-score game.
Yeah, I think you want to go with the safe bet, right? You know that the Blacksburg doesn't really have a plan for the point after. As it stands, they've only seen 1 attempt. So I think getting up by 8 is good. It gives you that kind of cushion that you may still have a lead even after a touchdown.
Well, Jack Horn back to kick. He steps up to bat the ball deep, and it's going to be a little squib kick that's going to bounce over the head of one of the return men. It's going to be picked up by Kiefer Caldwell at around the 20, strips 1 tackle and continues towards the Giles sideline where he breaks free. Up the Giles sideline, finally tackled out of bounds at the Giles 45-yard line. That's 2 kick returns in a row where Kiefer Caldwell has a big return, but it looks like some jawing on the Giles sideline is going to have a flag thrown on the play, and you really hope that either one, this is just going to be called no contest and it's on both of the teams, or that it's on the Spartans, because boy, oh boy, you don't want that momentum killed.
No, you don't, and it was so hard to see over there, Rich. You can't tell if it was on Giles or if it was on Blacksburg, and for Blacksburg, you really hope that it was Giles who initiated it.
Kiefer Caldwell on that return, his second big return of the game. That's about another 30-yard return for Caldwell as he picked that one up at around the 20. The flag, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Bruins. And just like that, a 30-yard return is going to turn into one of around only 15.
And that's one way to make your head coach mad. You have a great return. You let the other team get into your head, and now you put yourself in a position in which you have to work back. You were in plus territory, now you're in negative territory, and now you've got to work even harder.
Blacksburg football with 7:04 to go. The ball will officially be spotted at their own 42-yard line, so thankfully that penalty doesn't hurt too much. Sam Sheff looking to continue for his Oaks and maybe add another score for the Bruins. So take a shotgun snap with Trick Sams lined up to his left, 3 wide receivers to his right. A handoff to Sams right up the middle of the formation, running good for a gain of around 5, tackled down on the left hash after a good gain. Didn't see who got in on that one for the Spartans, as there was a few tacklers around Sams. Ball's going to be spotted at the 47-yard line. A gain of 5 by Sams will make it 2nd and 5 with 6:40 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 5 at their own 47s. Another shotgun snap for Sam Sheff. We've only seen him once out of the single back formation. Sheff taking the snap at around the 42-yard line. Again, a handoff to Sams, who's right up the middle of the field, and another good gain. First down for the Bruins as he just really walks right through the line of scrimmage. Tackled by Michael Wilson. We've seen him play hero a few times on some of these games by Sams, but it's a Blacksburg Bruins first down. Sam Chef, going to get the play from his sideline. It's 1st and 10 up to the Giles 45, 6:15 to go here in the third quarter.
And now you're back to the same spot you would have been had that penalty not been called on you.
Offense looking pretty good. The Bruins need to continue to look that way. They trail by 8 with 6 to play here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 at the Giles 45. Chef takes a snap from the 50. He's going to look for Easton Holt, and it's another deep ball that had potential, but this ball's a little bit overthrown.
Yeah, I think Chef just expected for Holt to get off the line a bit quicker. And, I mean, Holt gets onto that ball, it's a touchdown. There's no doubt about it.
One of the first things I heard about Sam Chef was the fact that he's a great pitcher. He sure has that arm strength, but maybe a little bit too much there for Holt. It'll make it 2nd and 10 at the Giles 45-yard line. 5:55 to play here in the third quarter. Again, the Bruins trailing by 8 points. They need to score this drive. Chef will take this snap at the 50 in the shotgun set, and he's going to get the Spartans to jump offside. It's funny, we saw this in the benefit game a couple of times for Blacksburg, but they flipped the script here on the Spartans.
Yeah, and we saw it earlier. It went against Blacksburg when they were trying to draw Giles off sides, and now you give yourself a 2nd and manageable rather than a 2nd and 10 from the 45.
Sometimes that's why you go for those big plays to start the drive, right? Because you know you have that in your back pocket. 2nd and 5 from the Giles 40. Still 5:55 to go here in the third quarter. Sam Chef trots his team out of the huddle. He'll take the snap this time from the 45-yard line. 2 wide receivers to his right, 1 tight end on the right side of the formation as well. Trick Sam's lined up to his left. Another snap count, and he'll delay and now tell his team something different. He'll return to the 45-yard line where he awaits the snap. And the snap is made. Trick Sam's the handoff. He's going to get dragged down maybe after a gain of 1 on the play. Tried to cut up that left hash, but somebody had a good hold on him. It'll be 3rd and, I'd say pretty short here for the Bruins. 3rd and 4 at around the 39 of the Spartans.
Yeah, now you're looking to just cut that deficit in half. I think if this is 4th down territory, especially with the clock winding down close to 5 minutes left in the third, you're looking to get to the line to gain or get close enough where you give yourself a reasonable shot at going forward on 4th down.
Sam Chef has shown a couple of times that he's hard to take down. You wonder if he's got it in his mind to just try to bulldoze somebody here for the 4 yards that are needed. Time is ticking. We're at 5:15 in the third quarter. Chef with Sam's lined up to his right. Shotgun snap awaiting. He'll take it at around the 44. The snap to Chef. It's going to be a reverse all the way. Easton Holt going to be running towards his own sideline looking for the first down, and he kind of made something out of nothing there, Landon. Takes the snap. Chef gets it, fakes or gives the handoff to Sams, who then flips it to Easton Holt, and instead of running towards his own sideline, he cuts up the middle of the field and finds the first down.
That sort of trickery is what has kept Blacksburg into the game today. They've kind of unveiled it at really opportune times, and it's caught Giles off guard, and it's been the reason why they've extended drives.
We tick past 4:40 to go here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 at the Giles 34. The Bruins have had a couple on this drive. They look for more as they look to take it right back to Giles, who scored on their first drive of the third quarter. Chef in the shotgun snap, going to motion Easton Holt. It's a jet pass to him. He flies past a couple of Giles defenders. We're in the backfield and past the 20 now. Tackled down at around the 12-yard line. It was Nate Steele, his brother, who made the tackle, but if it wasn't for Nate Steele, it might have been a touchdown, but maybe that doesn't matter. Another flag on the field, and it looks like it's going to go against the Bruins.
And that's really unfortunate. And you see we see the Bruins walking back. Chef now at his own 40. What would have been a 1st down and 10 from the 12 is now taken all the way back, and it's going to be 1st down and long for Blacksburg from close to the 50-yard line.
14-6 to score with 4:15 to go in the third quarter. It was going to be 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line for the Bruins. Instead, it's going to be 1st and long, 1st and 20. Actually, maybe not 1st and 20. Sometimes these penalties depend on where the flag was thrown at. And in fact, it'll be 1st and 15. So they say Holt already had 5 yards before the penalty was made. So 1st and 15 at the Giles 40-yard line. Chef will take the snap at around his 45. The snap to Chef and a handoff to Trick Sams, who makes a cut and runs right up the middle for a good gain of around 5. Tackled down by Michael Wilson near the original line of scrimmage. Good for a gain of around 4. Is now a timeout taken by the Spartans. An interesting one, but that'll allow us to talk about some of our special sponsors. Timothy A. Brown was born and raised in Montgomery County, Virginia, a graduate of Blacksburg High School and Radford University. Tim's life has been shaped by this community and the values of public service it represents. With more than 26 years of law enforcement, Tim has built a career dedicated to protecting and serving the people of Montgomery County. Vote November 3rd. Well, Landon, 14-6 to score, 3:46 to go here in the third quarter. A timeout taken by Giles. What do you think they're talking about in this huddle?
I think you're trying to figure out what to do with this 2nd down and 11. If you're Philip Reese, are you looking to just cut the yardage into a smaller chunk? Are you looking for another big play? I think we can maybe see some misdirection on this play, really trying to catch Giles off guard. You've still got 3 minutes and change left in the third quarter, so time is not of the essence just yet, but you don't want to leave anything left on the table.
The gain was 4 yards on the run by Trick Sams, which will make it 2nd and 11 from the Giles 36-yard line. And honestly, that's a pretty manageable 2nd down for having a holding on the first play of the 1st and 10. So from the 36 of Giles, 14-6 to score with 3:46 to go here in the third quarter. Chef motions Max Strom across the line of scrimmage. He has Trick Sams to his left in the shotgun snap. To Chef, handoff to Sams up the middle, and the patience pays off once more. A solid game for Sams up to the 30-yard line. This one's good for a gain of 6, and they'll make it 3rd and 5 for the Bruins.
Now I think you see something, maybe a pass play into the flat, try and get a screen going. Blacksburg has done really well when they get guys running downhill and at Giles' defense. When it's stationary, that's when they struggle a bit more.
Trick Sams has been the majority of the offense so far this drive. Does he get another carry? Do we see Sam Chef try to use that big arm? It's 3rd and 5 from the Giles 30. They trail by 8. 3:10 to go here in the third quarter. The snap to Chef is on the ground, and there's a flag. It's a false start. Just more back and forth for the Bruins. More back and forth for the Bruins. Snap wasn't great either, and it's a mistake that just can't happen in a close game like this.
No, you don't want that to happen at all. And now when you can try out different things with a 3rd down and 5, give different looks to Giles. Now it's pretty simple. You're going to see more than likely a pass play.
This is a 3rd and long 11 for the Bruins. They'll be taking the snap at the Giles 35-yard line. Sam Chef looking to create a big play to continue this drive for the Bruins. He takes the snap at the 40, fakes the handoff to Sams, and runs towards the Blacksburg sideline where he gets a block, breaks a tackle at the 20, and slips down at the 15. Chef gets up feeling okay as he gets the 1st down for the Bruins. There is an injured player on the field, and that's Kiefer Caldwell, which is not good to see.
Yeah, he's grabbing at that left calf, and it just looks like a cramp, which, in all honesty, Rich, that's something that you're going to see a lot in these early stages of the season, especially with the hot air. It's more likely to happen, and he's going to stretch out. He'll be okay.
Well, Price's Body Shop is okay as well. They're pleased to support Blacksburg High School athletics. Since 1976, they have been there to help the local community who have had some unexpected changes to their vehicles with body damage that occurs from accidents of all sorts. Trust 50 years of professional expertise to care for your vehicle's bumps and bruises and more. Located at 2592 Ellett Road in Christiansburg, it's Price's Body Shop. 2:51 to go here in the third quarter. A big-time Sam Chef 15-yard gain to give the Bruins a 1st down. 2:51 to go here in the third quarter. They trail by 8. I think we need to see more of that from Chef, right, Landon?
Yeah, he's much, much better when he's creating on his feet, when the play breaks down, and some of those design runs have really, really been successful, and especially in an 8-point game, you're now in the red zone. You want to see Chef get creative.
The creativity has allowed the Bruins to get all the way up to the Giles 15-yard line. It's 1st and 10. The Bruins trailing by 8 need a score and more due to the failed 2-point conversion on their only touchdown of the first half. Shotgun set for Chef. 2:40 now on the game clock as it continues to tick. Chef will take the snap at the 20. Hand it off. No, he fakes it to Trick Sams right up the middle again. He has 1 man to beat, and there's no chance for the Giles defense. Sam Chef, a 15-yard touchdown run, and the Bruins are 2 points away for tying this game up, Landon.
We talked about it. It's like we spoke it into existence, but we know it's not us. It's all about Sam Chef and Philip Reese. Those two working in tandem right now. The head coach and head leader of the offense. Sam Sheff, when he gets creative, something's going to happen. And right now, we see the same kind of formation going on with the PAT. And we see coaches signaling now they're going to bunch up and maybe actually go for 2.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a similar play. It was back-to-back plays of the same variety. A read option to trick Sams, and Sheff just so patient, making sure not to hand off the ball to Sams because he knows that he could break any tackle. 15-yard rushing touchdown from Sam Sheff. He'll take his time to get the play call from the sideline. He needs to take a deep breath after that big run.
Yeah, now you've put yourself in a good position. With 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter, Rich, only down by 2, and maybe even a chance at tying this ball game, you have new life. Even after all the penalties, you have new life.
Giles' sideline is frustrated as the flag's thrown, and it's going to be delay of game, but interestingly enough, the play clock was not running.
Yeah.
And that was what Giles' sideline was complaining about, but now Blacksburg's sideline has something to complain about because they just had a delay of game throw when there was no play clock in action. There seemed to be conversation held between the sideline and the referee as well. I imagine that Giles is right in their conversation that they were having with the referees because Blacksburg was taking their time, but we're going to see what the decision is made on the field. It's important to note the on-field referees do not control the play clock. It's controlled by a referee that's upstairs, but in the end, it's still a referee. So I think Philip Reese has the right to talk about how right now there shouldn't really be a delay of game against the Bruins.
Yeah, if that clock's not running, how does the offense have any idea of when they should snap the ball? That's there's been a couple of calls today that have gone against Blacksburg that they're unfortunate calls by the official crew, and sometimes that's what happens in these early games.
Well, instead of the snap being taken at the 2, it's going to be taken at the 7-yard line. The 8-yard line. First and goal, not really a first and goal, it's a 2-point conversion. Sam Sheff going to try the same read option as Jose Sanchez looking for the Blacksburg sideline, reaching the end zone, 2-point conversion. Jose Sanchez ties this ball game up.
Amazing work. Amazing work. How about Jose Sanchez being brought in a big spot? The sophomore, the 5'10 sophomore, maybe one of the biggest plays in his career so far, and it comes on opening day to tie this ball game up. There is an injured Spartan on the play at the 10-yard line. We do hope that he's okay, but Blacksburg is doing really well right now. They've tied this ball game up with 2.5 minutes left to go in the third. A big chance at maybe taking the lead the next time they have the ball.
You mentioned it, 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. We're not at up 14 apiece, Landon. I got to say this. What I love about that play call so much, Trick Sams was on the last 2. That was the exact same play that they ran for the last 2 plays, and I think they added a little bit of trickery by adding a guy that hasn't gotten a carry for the whole game.
Look at Philip Reese. He is fired up. He's yelling at his entire team, letting them know, don't worry about anything else that's happening on the field. Just play your game. And with just under 15 minutes left in the entirety of this ball game, it's 0-0 really.
Well, Dave Monroe is Executive Mortgage Consulate with Prosperity Home Mortgage. Reach out today and contact David at 3681 Yellow Sulphur Road, Site 2B in Blacksburg at 540-750-5875. That's 540-750-5875. Or email David at david.monroe@phmloans.com. Prosperity Home Mortgage, LLC. Sheriff Robert Page has worked in nearly every part of Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, the jail, civil process, patrol, and over 6 years tracking dangerous fugitives alongside the U.S. Marshals Task Force. Those experiences taught him that leadership isn't about a title. It's about showing up, knowing the people you serve, and making sure every deputy in every division gets the same respect and resources. He's raising his own family right here in Montgomery County, and as a father and husband, he knows community safety isn't just a job. It's personal. Vote Robert Page for Sheriff November 3rd. Learn more at sheriffrobertpage.com. It's paid for by Robert Page for Sheriff. Good luck, Bruins. 2:31 to go in the third quarter. We're knotted up at 14 apiece after a Sam Sheff rushing touchdown and a Jose Sanchez 2-point conversion. 14 apiece as Ethan Loudermilk prepares to kick it from his right hash, the near sideline for the Bruins. Back deep to return is 2 Spartans. One of them is Jacob Mills. We've seen him make some big plays. On the far sideline, it's Bryson Atkins. Loudermilk runs up, and here's the kick. Booted deep back. Jacob Mills will let this one bounce into the end. No, it's going to bounce at the 1, and now Mills has to make a decision. Picking it up at his 1s. He's going to break a few tackles at around the 3, move up to around the 11-yard line where he's finally dragged down. Tackle made by Zach Noakes, but there was an opportunity for Riley Henderson to make the tackle at around the 3-yard line. All in all, a good down for the Bruins defense to start this drive.
Yeah, I mean, you now have them pinned inside their own 15. They're at their own 11-yard line, Rich. And after the display that your offense just put on the field, a long drive to score and tie this ball game up, now you have your defense set up to make a big stop and maybe even get your offense some field position, but they've got to go through a few plays to get there first.
And they have to start here too, because the one tricky thing about a single wing is that they can also make this an 80-yard drive that takes the rest of the ball game. The Bruins need to push here. 2:12 to go. 1st and 10 for the Spartans at their own 11-yard line. Out of the wing tee. Snap to, looks like Noah Steele. He'll be piled up. Zach Noakes even jumping on top of the pile after a gain of maybe 1-2 yards there for the Spartans. Clocking a tick down past 2 is another injured player on the field. At the bottom of that pile was a Spartan after the gain of 2, an injury timeout. Landon, we've seen this on the last couple of plays. You think it's a cramp issue? Hopefully it's just a cramp issue.
Yeah, he looks really unhappy, slamming the ground down in frustration. And you hope that he's okay. This one seems a little bit more than just a cramp issue.
Well, with 2:03 to go, the score is 14-14. The athletic staff out to talk to this Spartans player who holds his leg up in the air, so maybe it is just a cramp. That's what we hope for. Only a 2-yard gain on that first play. After this injury timeout, it will be 2nd and 8. The Spartans at their own 13-yard line. These injuries have kind of secretly given Blacksburg an opportunity to continue to regroup and figure out an attack plan to stop the Giles offense.
Yeah, and it's allowing Blacksburg, they have the momentum. They're keeping the momentum with these injury timeouts as much as it sucks for Giles, and you don't want to see a player get injured. Inherently, it does kind of help Blacksburg in that Giles doesn't have the ability to form any momentum.
Rob Jones is a lifelong Blacksburg resident and a proud Virginia Tech graduate with a degree in business management and a minor in residential property management from the Pamplin School of Business. After briefly living in Richmond, he returned home to launch his own franchise that he ran successfully for 14 years. Upon selling, he joined his father, Joe Jones, who owned Raines Real Estate for 40 years, an opportunity that perfectly matched his passion for construction and real estate. His local insight and family-first approach define his success and connection to the New River Valley. Getting taken off the field is Hudson Harmon. We hope he's okay. Getting helped a little bit, but he's walking off on his own power. So after that injury timeout, the clock will resume on the ref signal. It'll tick down from 2:03 to play in the third quarter, where the score is 14-14 after a Blacksburg rushing touchdown by Sam Sheff and a Jose Sanchez 2-point conversion after the Giles Spartans opened up this third quarter with a touchdown of their own. Spartans 2nd and 8 at their own 13-yard line. Blacksburg looking to keep it at just gains of 2 on this drive. Clock now under 2 minutes. As the Spartans prepare to run this out of the wing tee, it's going to be Bryson Atkins to number 4. No, there goes Atkins down the far sideline, but boy, that's a big tackle made by Jacob Hendricks. A huge play on the far sideline, and now another Spartan is down. Another Spartan is down. That might be Bryson Atkins, who was the ball carrier on the play. He was wrapped up around his ankles, and, well, he's just cramping. I think you can see that from the way that he's being treated by the athletic staff. So a gain of 2, I'd mentioned, hopefully only gains of 2. Big tackle there by Hendricks. Landon 3rd and 6. Ball to 15 for the Spartans. What do you think Blacksburg needs to do?
I think you just keep on winning in that first line of defense. They're beginning to attack Giles' offensive line a little bit more than they had in the past, and that's allowing them to get at these Giles runners early on, and rather than letting them get ahead of steam running downhill, they're catching them when they're running out on the flats, and it's a lot harder to cut inside when you're running against 2 or 3 Bruins than if you don't have anybody in front of you.
You know, Landon, it's funny, I have to say this. We've been watching football for a long time, but the man that set this up, Rick Watson, he's been watching football for a while. This is a quick reminder for us. It's not the wing tee, it's the single wing. And I've been saying the wing tee the whole game. So thankfully we have Rick Watson, who is on our side, who he's been watching football for before I was born. No offense, Rick. But anyways, 3rd and 6. Giles at their own 15, a minute and 30. Well, we near the minute and 30 mark in the third quarter. It's at a minute and 35. Giles needs 6 yards for the first down. And I think no matter how close they get this, if they don't get the first down, they're going to have to punt. So a big play here for the Bruins. Clock under a minute 30 now in the third quarter. 3rd and 6. One man in motion for Giles. It's going to be a handoff that's going to be ran towards the Blacksburg sideline. It's Nate Steele fighting a tackler, and a huge tackle by Kiefer Caldwell. Tackle made at the 20-yard line, and that's short of the yard to gain. It'll be a 4th and very short for the Spartans, but it looks like they're going to run out their punt team. What a play by Kiefer Caldwell.
That's huge. That is huge. We've seen Blacksburg kind of crumble in those kinds of situations today, Rich. Not there, not when it really matters most, and now you have a chance to get back on offense in some good territory as well. Giles punting from their own 20-yard line.
It's going to be the man who just ran the football. Nate Steele out to punt as the clock ticks down to 40 seconds. A 4th and 1 at their own 20-yard line. You got to watch the fake. This is an extra heavy set from the Spartans as they run out one more man. And this play clock's winding down a whole lot. 3 seconds and now timeout on the field. And were the Spartans going to have to use a timeout here? Yes, they are. They're not going to take the delay of gain in their own territory on a 4th and 1. They're going to take a timeout. And that's one that they've used, and that's not a good timeout to use, in my opinion, Landon.
No, and you wonder if they call that timeout because they were going to go for it. I wonder if they didn't have the personnel on the field. And look, 4th and 1, it's kind of different in high school in that now that Blacksburg kind of knows that they might go for it, you still may want to try and go for it because high school football is so interesting that anything can happen, and all it takes is for one missed assignment. So I wouldn't be surprised if Giles goes back out there and goes for it on this 4th down. That's the only real reason I can think of as to why they would burn another timeout and only have one timeout left in a game that hasn't reached the 4th quarter, and we're tied.
Another thing to watch here is a snap count. The Bruins and the Spartans are both, well, no, there is not going to be a snap count. Oh, I lied. Nate Steele's out there, but he's going to his punt formation. But yeah, no returner here at all for the Bruins. They're not worried about a punt return. They're simply worried about making sure there's no fake for the Spartans. Nate Steele was going to take it at the 8-yard line. They got that snap off quick. It's a solid punt. It's going to take a bounce at the 49-yard line and skip out of bounds at the Bruins 48. So the Bruins actually get good field position without even having a punt returner back. 23 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It'll be Bruins 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. And for the first time since the first drive of the ball game for the Bruins, they have an opportunity to take the lead.
Yeah, that's crazy to say. And a lot of this game, Giles, it feels like it's kind of dominated apart from 2 drives from Blacksburg. But it's better to play your best ball towards the end of the game, especially in a tight one like this.
Sam Sheff had 2 straight carries to cap off a big-time drive that started at the 35-yard line. Bruins starting in similar territory right at around the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 at their own 48. Ball on the right hash. Sheff lined up at the 46. Shotgun snap where Max Strom and Zach Notes are going to motion to the left side of the formation. Sheff the snap, low snap, handoff to Trick. Sam's going to run down the left side. Tackled on the far hash, and this is going to be in the backfield. It's a big play. Who else? Noah Steele finds his way. That'll probably do it for the third quarter. Landon Weaver will have the call for the 4th, and it's a tight one. A big TFL by Noah Steele will make it 2nd and 11 when we return for 4th quarter action. Fans, it's 14-14. Landon Weaver is going to have a big call. I'm Richard Terry. I'll be on color for the 4th quarter. Thankful for everybody that's tuned in. Blacksburg 14, Giles 14 as well.
Welcome back to Blacksburg Bruins football on the Big Dog Sports Talk Network. Your home for all things Blacksburg Bruins football during the 2026 season. Landon Weaver and Richard Terry with you as Blacksburg now has the ball. Sides are being flipped. They have the ball on their own 47-yard line. 2nd down and 11. They're attacking from right to left. Giles defending in their away red jerseys. Sam Sheff in the shotgun has Sam's out to his left hip. Two receivers to his left, or right rather, one to his left. Takes the snap, hands off. Sam's going up the gut. Gets a big gain, brought down right around the 40-yard line. Right at the line to gain. And the chains do move with 11:55 remaining in the final quarter of play. It's a first down for Blacksburg and an injured player for the Bruins.
Yeah, it's a good gain there from Sam's, and I think the Bruins have really found their play, but I think late in these games with the sunny weather, as it is actually tricked Sam's down, he's taking his time on the field. You hope he's okay. We've seen a lot of cramps, and you hope that this is of the same variety. Thankfully for the Bruins, and you say this hoping that Sam's doesn't have to come out of this ball game, thankfully for the Bruins, they have Jose Sanchez on the sideline who was able to get that 2-point conversion.
Sanchez doesn't quite provide that same pace that Trick Sam's does, but he is a big frame and can barrel down runners if he needs to. The clock is still running, even though there was an injury timeout, so I'm certain that the clock will be brought back, and now it does stop at 11:10. More than likely going back to somewhere around 11:45. Tie ball game in Blacksburg at Bill Brown Stadium and David Christ Field on the campus of Blacksburg High School right off of Price's Fork Road. So glad to have you all joining us in this tight ball game. Officials talking to Philip Reese. A couple of them standing at the ball, which is spotted at the Giles 41-yard line. 41 yards separate the Bruins from a lead in this contest. 11:50 is what the clock is stopped at. It'll start running as soon as the officials give the wheel motion. Tension growing at Bill Brown Stadium. The official blows his whistle and signals for the clock to start rolling. It does. 11:45 and counting. Chef stands in the shotgun with Jose Sanchez on his left hip. Claps. A couple of Giles linemen jump forward, and a flag is thrown. Offsides is signaled, and Sam Sheff draws the Spartans defense off and gets another gain of 5 yards. First down and 5 coming up from the 36-yard line of Giles.
It's funny, you mentioned tension, but it was like this nervous tension because we were just taking forever to resume play. I love the call that they go for it, to just go with that snap count, because I'm sure that Giles was extra anxious to get off the ball there and make a play. First and 5 for the Bruins.
Again in the shotgun set is Sam Sheff, a receiver to his left, 2 out to his right. He takes the snap, hands it off to Jose Sanchez, running to the left side of the line, now darting to the right, back to the left. He's swarmed by a couple of Spartans, led by Michael Wilson, and he's dropped at the 33-yard line.
I mean, that was a great run for Sanchez, and something that I think we're able to realize now with seeing Sanchez make these runs as well. The O-line has seen a drastic change from where they started on their first couple of drives. Sanchez was able to make that run because he had a gaping hole.
It's second down and 1 from the Giles 32-yard line. Sheff in the shotgun, Jose Sanchez on his left hip. 2 receivers to his left, one to his right. 10:45 and counting in the fourth quarter. Tie ball in Blacksburg. Sheff resetting, talking to his O-line, now backing back into the shotgun. The snap, Sheff gives it off to Sanchez, running up the gut, enough for another first down. He's brought down right around the 25-yard line by number 4 of Giles. And it's another Bruins first down with 10:31. The clock is stopped for the chains to move. And Blacksburg nearing that red zone in a tie ball game on opening day of the VHSL season.
You know, I'll have to ask, because I don't know if it's the same for high school football, but we know so much about opening scripts in football. Blacksburg's opening script worked pretty well, and they struggled to find a gain. Now it's running right up the middle. That's working really well for him.
Sheff in the shotgun, 2 out to his right, 1 to his left. He takes the snap, hands it off again to Sanchez, running up the middle. He's stopped waist height at the 21-yard line by a flurry of Spartans. A gain of 5 on the play. Michael Wilson in on the stop for Giles.
Yeah, and if you're Giles, you do not want to see the same guy, Michael Wilson, making that tackle every single play. He's at the second level, and that's where Sanchez is reaching on back-to-back carries.
9:45 left in the fourth quarter, and that clock is ticking. Sam Sheff rejoins his Blacksburg huddle right at around the 25-yard line, and now they break. Ball spotted at the Giles 21. Tie ball game 14-14, in which Blacksburg has not led in the entirety of the contest. Sheff takes the snap in the shotgun, hands it off again to Vasquez, diving up the middle, enough to get to around the 15-yard line, another gain of about 5. They keep on ripping off these 5-yard gains, Rich, as the clock drops under 9:15 in the fourth quarter. Still a tie ball game. and third down coming up.
Looks like an official timeout to spot this ball and see if the Bruins got the first down. But I think what Blacksburg's doing really well is they're finding gaps on the line of scrimmage. And what makes it tough for the Spartans, Landon, they only have 2 guys out wide. This is an 8-man front, around an 8-man, 7-man front. If you're getting ran on in an 8-man or 7-man front, you're not going to stop the run. Blacksburg has figured out what to do offensively, and it's taken Giles a tough time to stop him.
The chain's now being brought over from the far sideline. The chain crew accompanied by a referee, and now they're jogging over to the spot, which is on the near left hash at the 16-yard line of Giles.
You want this to be a 3rd and short so you can get the first down. You take another play, you know?
Here's the spot. They're stretching out the chain. Now the ball is hidden. We can't see where it is, and the signal is...
Well, they're really taking it. Might need to get the note card.
Yeah. They're examining the ball and the chain, and the signal is first down for the Bruins. With 9:13 remaining in the fourth quarter, a tie ball game. The Bruins have a first down and 10 from the 13-yard line, 16-yard line rather.
Yep, just keep on doing it. Just keep on doing it. Doesn't matter who your running back is, right up the middle. They don't have a chance right now. The Bruins have found their offensive game, and if they continue like this, it's going to be a long fourth quarter for Giles.
It's an opening night for BHS. Whiteout spraying over the crowd at Bill Brown Stadium. 9:09 and counting in the fourth quarter. Chef stands in the shotgun with Vasquez still on his left hip. 2 receivers to his right. Takes the snap, hands it off again to Vasquez, bouncing out to the left side, bearing down past the 10-yard line before being brought down at the 9. So a gain of about 7 on the first play of this new set of downs. It's Jose Sanchez barreling ahead.
Blacksburg just continuing right through the line of scrimmage. Giles, it's one of those things, if you're a coach, what do you say? I think they need to convince their edges to really get inside because you see a couple that are trying to stay contained and prevent that outside run. But right now, you got to put as much pressure as you can on the middle of the field.
2nd and 4 from the 9. Chef in the shotgun with Vasquez next to him. He takes the snap, takes the handoff, and rolls to his right. Chef running. Chef now darting back to his left side into the middle of the field, swarmed by a couple of Spartans. He's going all the way back, all the way around the Giles defense, and into the end zone. Oh my goodness, Sam Chef, are you kidding me? Blacksburg, their first lead of the night with 8:08 remaining on the game clock. He went all the way to the right, all the way to the left, and all the way into the end zone.
I mean, I'm speechless, Landon, and I think we might be for a while after that one. You said it. You described it perfectly, and it's the fact that he's able to do that that makes it most impressive. There was no block on that play that made it easy for him. He outran every single person on the Giles defense.
20-14 your score. Blacksburg now leading, and Chef calling over his team. They're going to go for the PAT with Ethan Loudermilk, the kicker. They're into the bunch formation with Chef kneeling, and the righty Loudermilk ready to kick. Good snap, spot, the kick is up, and through the sticks. 21-14, Blacksburg leads in the fourth quarter with 8:08 to play on the clock. Their first lead of the night, and it's Sam Chef, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. Phenomenal play by the Blacksburg senior.
Fans, make sure you stick around for this post-game show. We hope to see a Blacksburg win. It's going to be brought to you by Dave Marone, Prosperity Finance. Make sure you stick around for that. We'll be unveiling our play of the game, and I think we might have an idea of who that's going to be. But, boy, you said it yourself. Sam Chef, what a run. I think your enthusiasm described it pretty well because if you didn't see it, which you didn't if you're watching this, that was something special.
Chef, again, if you missed that play, for the leading touchdown, in which now the Blacksburg leads 21-14 over the Giles Spartans. He went all the way out to the right side, rolled out looking for a pass, then brought it back all the way out to the left sideline before darting into the end zone. Giles were all caught out. They had no idea what to do except watch Sam Chef waltz into the end zone. And now Blacksburg getting ready to kick from right to left. Ethan Loudermilk gearing up, spotting the ball at his own 40-yard line.
Back to receive for the Spartans is number 22, Nate Steele, and number 24, Jacob Giles.
Loudermilk backing up to the 30. Now walking a few paces towards his sideline at the 30-yard line before lining up for the kick. Ball spotted at his own 40. He begins the walk, now jog, and puts his boot through the ball, kicking it towards the end zone, and it is fielded and caught by the Giles Spartans and Jacob Mills, who darts past a couple of tacklers at the 25 and gets all the way out to the 23-yard line. A couple of Bruins down and shaken up after the play. They'll get up from the help of their teammates, and now Giles has the ball, spotted at the 24-yard line. 8:01 to play in the fourth quarter, and Blacksburg a 7-point lead, 21-14. Your score from David Christfield.
That was an interesting kick return right there from Jacob Mills. We nearly saw Cam Selden, and he managed to turn it into nearly a 30-yard return. So good starting field position here for the Spartans. But if you're the Bruins, you just need to play at your pace now. Understand that the Spartans, it's not advantageous to them to take it slow. They need to find the way to get to the end zone right now, as it looks like there was a flag on that play.
I guess we must have missed it. And with 8:01 remaining and Giles trailing by 7, the ball is now spotted at their own 39-yard line. There must have been a flag on the play that we had missed, as Giles breaks out of the huddle and gets into their single wing formation. Can Blacksburg find enough energy in their legs to stop it? Here's the snap. They fake the handoff, and it's Steele running up the middle, dodging a couple of tacklers out up to the 46-yard line, 43-yard line rather. 7:51 and counting in the fourth quarter. Blacksburg a 7-point lead.
Yeah, you know, right now, if you're the Bruins, it's not about making the big play, not about making the TFL. You want to do the same thing that you did to the Spartans last drive, where it was just 2 yards, 2 yards. They got close to the line of scrimmage, but you want to make them have to go for it. You don't want to allow them the opportunity to have second and shorts or third and shorts to put them in spots to where they know they have a good chance of getting the first down.
2nd down and 6 from the Giles 43-yard line. The Spartans on offense trailing by 7. Here's the snap. They hand it off to Mills. Running up the gut. He's stuffed by a trio of Bruins. Right at the 46-yard line, a gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd down and short with 7:09 to play in the contest. 21-14, Blacksburg leading. And 3rd down and short for the Giles Spartans. This is a big play. You can feel it. The PA announcer getting the student section on their feet as if they already weren't. A big crowd of white over there, as it is the whiteout on opening night. 6:45 to play in the fourth. 3rd down and 3 from the Giles 46. In their single wing. Here's the snap. Anthony running out to his right, breaking past a couple of tacklers out past the 50-yard line on the near side, and he breaks out for a first down. Easton Holt in on the stop eventually, but a good carry by Bryson Atkins.
And that's why you can't let them get to those 3rd and short situations, because that's what you want out of a single wing offense. It's not really about getting those 10-yard gains. It's really 5, 5, 5. And if you let Giles get into that sort of momentum, it's really going to be tough to stop. So right now, if you're Blacksburg, regroup and find the 2-yard gain right here. Find the 1-yard gain. And if you can get a TFL, awesome, but it's not necessary.
6:20 and counting in the fourth quarter. Blacksburg ahead by 7. Giles into plus territory. They get into their formation. Atkins gets the end around, going towards his own sideline on the far side. Breaks a tackle at the 50, darting ahead for a few more yards, getting back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard forward. It's Ethan Elston in on the tackle. Blacksburg a good defensive stand on 1st down.
It was a really good cut there to beat Zach Noakes, and we know how good Noakes has been today, but Atkins couldn't get past one more man, and Ethan Elston. That's a great tackle by a defensive lineman as well. Big play, and that's exactly what you need. Only a gain of 1 right there.
2nd down and 9 from the Blacksburg 47-yard line. 5 minutes and 38 seconds remain in the contest, and the Bruins hold a 7-point advantage. Whistles blow. Officials waving the hands above the head. And a timeout is called by the Blacksburg Bruins. Gives us a good opportunity to highlight Robert Page, the candidate for Montgomery County Sheriff. Sheriff Robert Page has worked in nearly every part of the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. The jail, civil process, patrol, and over 6 years tracking dangerous fugitives alongside the U.S. Marshals Task Force. Those experiences taught him that leadership isn't about a title. It's about showing up, knowing the people you serve, and making sure every deputy and every division gets the same respect and resources. He's raising his own family right here in Montgomery County, and as a father and husband, he knows community safety isn't just a job, it's personal. Vote Robert Page for sheriff November 3rd. Learn more at sheriffrobertpage.com. Again, that is Sheriff RobertPage.com. This was paid for by Robert Page for Sheriff. And as always, good luck, Bruins. And we're back to football. 5:34 remaining in the contest. Blacksburg a 7-point lead. 2nd down and 9. Here's the snap. Running up the gut is Noah Steele. He gets to the 40-yard line, just short of the line to gain. It's going to be a 3rd down and short for the Giles Spartans. Zach Noakes in on the stop for the Bruins.
Impressive running today from the Steele brothers. They've done their job when called upon. Right now the Bruins need somebody to get up and make a big play. You're going to hear the same thing we heard last time, Landon. It's 3rd and short. These guys are on their feet. Let's see if the defense can make a stand.
Blacksburg making a couple of changes, throwing in some more linebackers. 3rd down and 2 from the Blacksburg 40. Giles snaps, run up the gut, and they're not going to be able to stop Atkins running down the near sideline at the 10-5. Touchdown, Giles Spartans. And they're a point after away, Rich, from tying this ball game up with 4:50 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Unfortunately, this is what I referred to earlier. When you try to create that TFL, when you try to basically push against a team that's looking to push, that's where you open those holes. You've seen a lot of tackles today from the secondary, and it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's good if the adverse to that is nobody being in the secondary to make the tackle.
Once Atkins was able to break through that first line of defense, there was nobody left to catch him. He is a speedy guy, number 2 in red, and he was able to waltz his way into the end zone. 21-20, Blacksburg still ahead pending this point after. 4:50 remain on the clock, and we'll see. It looks like a 2-point conversion is what Giles is setting up for from the 3-yard line. Clock will not run. Here's the snap. Steele, end around. There's going to be a toss into the end zone. Back corner, touchdown. Or not touchdown, 2-point conversion is good. And now Giles leads 22-21 with 4:50 remaining in the 4th quarter. And as quickly as that momentum felt like it was booming for Blacksburg, it's all on that far sideline now.
That single wing, man, she can look pretty, and right there, that was run to perfection. It's just plenty of time for Atkins to, one, make that throw with plenty of open space, and then, of course, everybody expecting run. You see one man leak out in the back of the end zone, and that's all she wrote. Lead now for the Spartans.
22-21 your score. Giles leading with 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. What a back-and-forth ball game we have. Blacksburg taking their very first lead in the contest, and it's quickly wiped away as Giles gets their 3rd lead of the contest in a 22-21 fashion on opening night of the Virginia High School League football season.
It's one of those games to where neutral fans are going to love it. You know, it's spectacular to see both of these teams go back and forth, but now it's about who ends up on top. Good news for Blacksburg, they have 4 minutes and 50 seconds to play. Bad news is they have to score. I think we know one man is going to be getting the ball a lot on this drive.
He is the one that receives every single snap in Sam Sheff. Naz Villa back to receive for Blacksburg as Giles gets ready to kick it off from their own 40-yard line from left to right. Blacksburg in their whites for whiteout night with blue helmets and gold as well. Wojciech Horan ready to kick off for the Giles Spartans. He puts his right boot through it, squibs it up the middle, and it is fielded by 17. For the Blacksburg Bruins, Bryce Dowdy working out to the near sideline before being brought down by Michael Wilson at the 28. So a nice return gets you past what it would normally be if there were to be a touchback. But now you've got to go 72 yards plus down the field with 4 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. And Blacksburg trailing by 1. You don't have to score fast, but you want to be able to methodically get through.
You know, I really think right now for Blacksburg, I partially agree. You do want to get down the field. You don't need to worry about time. But at the same time, you do want to focus on getting the ball upfield. Like you said, you got to get the first down, you know?
Trick Sam is back in the contest at the running back position. Sheff takes the snap and rolls out to his right. It's a QB scramble going down the far sideline. Sheff breaking free on the far sideline. One man to beat. He gets past him. Sam Sheff, his 4th rushing touchdown of the contest. He hasn't gotten in yet, and now he does. There is a flag on the play at the 50-yard line, and everybody is walking back. A holding call wipes out what would be a 71-yard rushing touchdown for Sam Sheff. A block in the back instead of a holding. Nonetheless, it wipes out that touchdown entirely. The scoreboard right now reads 27-22 Blacksburg. That will quickly be brought back to 22-21 in favor of the Giles Spartans. 4:28 to play in the contest, and the ball will be spotted after the penalty.
Yeah, where that flag was taken at, thankfully, at least for Blacksburg, it's going to be a first down. But, man, what could have been? Now, there is one reality for this. Sam Sheff's going to have to catch his breath. But now, the last couple of plays we've seen from him, who's stopping him? He's sprinting while everybody else out there is jogging. They're making the blocks, and, of course, you're going to see mistakes like that happen. But keep on daring Giles to have somebody make a play because right now, nobody is touching Sam Sheff.
Sheff today responsible for 18 of the 21 points scored by Blacksburg. They've all come on rushing touchdowns. 22-21 your score in favor of Giles. After the penalty, Blacksburg has a first down and 10 from their own 42-yard line as the officials blow the whistle again and hold up play. Everybody getting set. Blacksburg again has the ball. First down and 10. The touchdown wiped away. They have the ball on their own 42-yard line. They trail Giles by 1 point with 4:26 and counting left in the fourth quarter. Sheff takes the snap, rolls out to his left this time. Down the near sideline, Sheff breaking through tackles. Sheff, a couple of men to beat, working down the near sideline at the 30. He's brought down at the 25-yard line, out of bounds. The ball will be spotted at the 27, so another big run by Sheff. Jacob Mills in on the stop, a crucial stop with 4:14 to play. Blacksburg in Giles territory again.
I mean, what do we say? What do we say? Who's going to stop Sam Sheff? Apparently Jacob Mills is the only man that can, and that's because he's about 10 yards, 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage on the defensive side. The only thing you're worried about Sheff now is, he needs to catch his breath. You don't want him to get hurt or anything like that. But now with the territory that you're in for Blacksburg, now you can really think about taking your time and really turning this into something methodical.
It's a 31-yard gain for Sam Sheff on the ground. He has Trick Sams to his left, two receivers to his right, and one on the near sideline. Takes the snap and hands it up to Sams, who's going up the middle, breaking through a couple of tacklers. Sams all the way down to the 11-yard line. A huge gain, a 16-yard gain for Trick Sams, and Blacksburg now into the red zone. Landon Wood in on the tackle for Giles, and under 4 minutes to play. Clock is stopped for the chains to move. First down and 10 from the 12.
Landon Wood had to make that tackle, and he had to make it practically against two running backs because Cam Burton was given an extra shove to Trick Sams. I think that shows a lot of what Blacksburg has been able to do on these last couple of drives. Their offensive line has stepped up a tremendous amount here in the second half.
Clock now rolling at 3:40 and dwindling in the fourth quarter. Blacksburg trailing Giles 22-21. Sheff in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off. Sams up the gut again. Enough for another big gain, cutting the distance in half. He gets past the 5-yard line, out to the 4, and it's second down and short from the 4-yard line.
The way that Trick Sams runs is so fun to watch. He's so patient. He is methodical. The way that this drive is going now for the Bruins, in the sense that he's never looking to make the big play. He's just letting his blockers do the job. Another big game for Sams, and now the Bruins can taste it.
3:06 to play in the fourth. Sheff jogging back out to his huddle, which stands at around the 10-yard line. The ball spotted at the Giles 4. 15 seconds left on the play clock, so they got to get out of the huddle, and they do. Sheff in the shotgun with Sams out to his left, two receivers to his right, and one to his left. Sheff takes a low snap, hands it off to Sams, going out to his left, trying to break through a tackle before he's dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Noah Steele in on the stop. And Blacksburg, with the clock now at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, have a 3rd and 2 from the Giles 4.
And honestly, Landon, this is a situation to where if I was Giles, I consider almost letting him in the end zone, especially with how their offense plays. What are you going to do if you have a minute left on the clock and you're trailing?
2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game. Giles a 1-point lead, but Blacksburg knocking at the door. 3rd down and 2 from the Spartans 4. Sheff in the shotgun. Bends his knees, takes the snap, hands it off to Sams, up the middle, into the end zone. Crossing the L of Blacksburg at the pay dirt. Touchdown Bruins, they lead 27-22 with 2 minutes flat on the clock in the fourth quarter.
I mean, did you see it coming? I think we did from up here. Blacksburg has been dominant this half. Outside of their first drive, they have been unstoppable. Their rushing attack is something else right now.
Now, they lead by 5 with 2 minutes to go. Do you think they go for 2?
I think you got to. I think a 6-point game just isn't worth it. And I think especially you see Giles go for 2 themselves. Maybe there's a conversation about Giles' kicking game, so you want to force them to get that PAT.
Chef lines up in the shotgun with Sams out to his left and a couple of receivers out to his right. There's a flag on the play, and it goes on Giles.
Yeah, somebody on their defensive line jumped before anybody on Blacksburg was even set.
So the ball was spotted at the 3. It'll now be spotted at the 1.5 of Giles. 2 minutes stopped on the clock. 27-22, Blacksburg leads after the rushing touchdown, 4 yards from Trick Sams.
And you can see Chef, he's hobbled a little bit too. So thankfully Sams was able to make some of those big plays because after some of the runs by Chef, he's working really hard to even stay out there.
He has Sams on his right hip, 2 receivers out to his left and 1 to his right. Takes a low snap, it's on the ground. Sams dives on it, and he's brought down. So the 2-point conversion fails. The score remains 27-22 in favor of the Bruins. And now the ball is in the hands of Giles, but it's also the game is in the hands of the Blacksburg Bruins defense with 2 minutes exactly left on the clock. And this opening night at David Chris Field, Blacksburg holds a 5-point lead as we head into another break of play. Gives us a chance to tell you about Dave Sheeler, Waterstone Mortgage, also is our halftime sponsor. Dave Sheeler is the Vice President of the Mid-Atlantic Region Sales and a mortgage professional with more than 20 years of experience in the mortgage and financial services industry. Are you looking for an experienced mortgage professional and Virginia lending expert to guide you through your home buying journey? Connect with Dave today for trusted advice, market insight, and a smooth path to ownership. Again, that's Dave Sheeler with Waterstone Mortgage. He is our halftime title sponsor. Ethan Loudermilk and crew jog out. They're getting ready to kick back over to the Giles Spartans. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Blacksburg a 27-22 lead courtesy of a Trick Sams 4-yard rushing touchdown that came with 2 minutes left in the contest. This one coming down to the wire, and Rich, you couldn't ask for a better game to start off the 2026 Virginia High School League season for the Bruins or the Spartans.
Well, let's hope the Bruins make this the game that we remember for a long time. It takes one stop to cement this game as one of the best season openers you'll see in the VSHL. VHSL. Yeah, I said that wrong, but whatever.
Loudermilk with the ball spotted at his own 40. A pair of Spartans back to receive. One of them at the 5, the other at the 4-yard line. Loudermilk jogging up to the ball. He puts his right boot through it and kicks it off. Going towards the deep corner of the end zone. It's fielded by Jacob Mills. Running up the near sideline. Mills darting past a couple of tacklers. He gets out past the 20, down at the 22-yard line. Setting up first down and 10 within Giles territory from the 22-yard line.
I mean, that is a risky decision to return that football. And we've seen Mills today take a couple of big returns out of nothing. But right there, man, where they're starting, this is going to be tough for the Spartans. You know, the Bruins didn't get the 2-point conversion. I know there's a little bit of worry about that. But in reality, there's one message on this drive. Giles can't score. Doesn't matter what it is. They can't score.
Giles has 1 minute and 54 seconds to put points on the board, and they need a touchdown to take the lead. It's a 27-22 Bruins lead deep into the fourth quarter. Giles starting out first and 10 from their own 23-yard line. Lots of Blacksburg fans and Giles fans alike on their feet. In the single wing, they drop back to Giles, looking for a throw downfield. The ball is looped up over the middle, and it's caught by Giles, thrown into a flurry of Bruin defenders, but a Spartan comes out with it. With 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in the contest, Giles forces a second down and medium. The clock now nearing 90 seconds left in the game.
What a decision to throw the football right there, and it nearly ended up disastrous. Great coverage downfield. Zach Noakes was the man with the tackle on the play, and I think Noakes was so excited, like unexpected, I should say, that football being in the air, that he didn't lay a big hit.
Second down and 4. Here's the snap. Atkins brought back down behind the line of scrimmage. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. It's Trent Liller on the tackle for the Bruins. And a timeout is called.
I mean, this is the first time since the first drive that we have seen the Spartans go backwards really on any play. It's not easy to get a TFL against a single wing. What a play from Trent Liller.
1 minute and 12 seconds remain in the contest, and Blacksburg leads by 5. We'd like to take this moment to let you know that it is the Hall of Fame Car Wash that will provide our player of the game after the contest.
I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, you do wonder. We're supposed to give one for the Blacksburg High School team, no matter a win or a loss. I think you talk about awards that go out throughout the region, throughout the Roanoke area. Sam Sheff will be up for some of those awards after tonight.
Yep.
3 rushing touchdowns. He's put the team on his back. He's hobbling, and he's given Blacksburg a lead late. 72 seconds for Giles to go 73 yards down the field. They need a touchdown to take the lead. It's a 5-point lead for the Blacksburg Bruins, 27-22. 3rd down and 6. The coaching staff, Philip Reese, getting the fans on their feet. Giles set up in the single wing. Here's the snap. Atkins rolling to his right, tossing downfield, and it goes into the dirt. 4th down and 6 from the Giles 27-yard line, coming up with 1 minute and 7 seconds. The clock stopped in the 4th quarter, and Blacksburg holding on to a 5-point lead.
I mean, this is a picture-perfect example. You have Giles right where you want them. We've seen them throw the ball twice today. Before this drive, they've thrown it twice here, and they have gone nowhere. Blacksburg's secondary has looked great. One more stop, Landon, and this ball game's over.
4th down and 6. Giles with the ball spotted on their own 27-yard line. 1 minute and 7 seconds remain. A 5-point lead for Blacksburg. No timeouts for the Spartans. A timeout, however, is called by the Blacksburg coaching staff. Just want to give their defense a chance to really know what is going on. Let them know what they need to do in order to get the stop with 1:07 left in the game, and Giles no timeouts. A stop here pretty much ends it.
Well, and that's what hurt Giles so much coming into this drive. I think if they have 3 timeouts, they treat it like they do any other drive, and we see them start off with the run. But the moment they come out passing, you could tell that it's hurried. It's just not the same type of offensive game plan. The Spartans all day long, except for literally one drive today, have found yardage out of the run. The pass has not really been a factor at all. And maybe thinking that Blacksburg was going to be excited by it and not really able to do anything. Well, that's not what's happened here. The Blacksburg defense has stepped up, and they're 1 play away from ending this ball game.
The Giles offense and Blacksburg defense coming out of the timeout. Philip Reese turning his face towards the crowd, putting his hands up, getting the crowd hype. It's a whiteout on opening night. Blacksburg a 27-22 lead with 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining. Giles no timeouts. 4th down and 6 from their own 27, and they're in the single wing. Here's the snap. Atkins drops back, rolling to his left. Atkins looking downfield, tosses into the air. The pass is broken up. Blacksburg a big stop on 4th down. They take over from the Giles 27-yard line with 1 minute and 1 second remaining. The most important part of all, they have a 5-point lead.
Well, I mean, there you go, Landon. They did it. They get the stop that they needed. I mean, barring any unnecessary game management issues, the Blacksburg Bruins should be 1-0 for the 3rd straight season against the Giles Spartans.
1st down and 10 from the Giles 27-yard line. It'll be interesting to see how Blacksburg shapes up for this first snap. 1 minute and 1 second remain. Giles no timeouts, and Sheff getting under center with Blacksburg in victory formation. The whistle blows. Sheff takes the snap, goes down on his right knee, and that clock will run down. Play clock set at 40 seconds. There's about a 15-second differential between the game clock and the play clock, so one more snap is all it's going to take for Blacksburg to go out of here with a win. Clock now at 42 seconds. Blacksburg again a 27-22 lead, and after Sheff takes this last knee, the game will be over, and Blacksburg will be 1-0 on the 2026 season. Sheff under center. 28 seconds to play. He takes the snap, goes down on his right knee at the 30-yard line, and that is the ball game, folks. Blacksburg, a 27-22 victory in Game 1 of the 2026 season, and what is going to be remembered as the Sam Sheff Show. And there may be many, many Sam Sheff shows to come. We were just part of his first act.
I mean, the Big Dog Sports Talk Sports Network. We're here for this guy. We're here for the Bruins as a whole. But Sam Sheff, you can't talk about him enough. We have to choose a player of the game, Landon. And I wonder who our player of the game might be.
We'll find out right after this quick break on the Big Dog Sports Talk Network, your home for everything Blacksburg Bruins football. throughout the 2026 season. Landon Weaver and Richard Terry with you. Stay tuned for a post-game report coming up right here on the Big Dog Sports Talk Network. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the post-game report live at Blacksburg High School, Bill Brown Stadium, and David Chris Field. Your score from Blacksburg High School, the Bruins 27 and the Giles Spartans 22, is a hard-fought win from the Blacksburg Bruins, in which Sam Sheff had 3 rushing touchdowns, and they all came at very, very opportune times. Landon Weaver and my broadcast partner, Richard Terry, currently out of the room. It was a phenomenal time. We hope you guys had an amazing time watching our broadcast, listening to our broadcast. This is the first of many broadcasts here on the Big Dog Sports Talk Network for Blacksburg Bruins football. Again, they win 27-22. Philip Reese gets his very first win as a head coach of Bruins football. And you could tell the way that the fans embraced him, the way that the players embraced him. When we were on break, the players huddled up around him. We're dancing around him. It's a celebration for Blacksburg. For Giles, they have a lot to be proud of. They had a hard-fought game in which they led for a majority of it all the way up until the fourth quarter. And then Blacksburg was able to take a lead. They were down with about 5 minutes to go. Giles had a 22-21 lead. Sam Sheff led an offense all the way down the field. Trick Sams bundled into the end zone, a 4-yard rushing touchdown. A phenomenal win. Today, our post-game player of the game is brought to you by the Hall of Fame Car Wash. Hall of Fame Car Wash offers 3-minute express washes and a Legends Club where you can wash as many times as you want a month. We have complimentary vacuums, cleaners, towels, and air. It's quick, convenient, and as always, it's quality. Come to us at 1401 North Main Street in Blacksburg. We have state-of-the-art equipment. The player of the game presented to you by the Hall of Fame Car Wash is, of course, Sam Sheff. It goes without saying. The quarterback led this comeback. He led the offense. 3 rushing touchdowns, accounted for 18 of the 27 total points that your Bruins scored tonight. And he is the reason why the Bruins are 1-0. But it doesn't just all fall on Sam Sheff's shoulders. Trick Sams was a big part of it. He led some big rushing touchdown at the end in order to get the win for Blacksburg, as well as Jose Vasquez. He was fantastic. He had a 2-point conversion that was able to tie the ball game at 14, in which Blacksburg was able to roll from there and outscore their opponents 13-8. We'll step aside for a quick moment, have more post-game coverage right after this on the Blacksburg Radio Network, presented by Big Dog Sports Talk. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking with us on the David Marone Prosperity Home Mortgage post-game report. Just another quick break before we come back for a little bit more post-game coverage. Again, the Blacksburg Bruins winning this one 27-22 over the Giles Spartans. Sam Sheff, your Hall of Fame car wash player of the game with 3 rushing touchdowns, and the Bruins 5-point win. Just a couple more minutes. We'll be right back on the Prosperity Home Mortgage David Marone post-game report. Hey everybody, welcome back into our booth at Bill Brown Stadium and David Chris Field. Just wanted to give you a heads up and make sure you stay tuned. We have a special guest coming to join the broadcast as part of our David Marone Prosperity Home Mortgage postgame report. It is none other than the Hall of Fame Car Wash Player of the Game, Sam Sheff. He will be here in just a few moments. Joined alongside myself, I'm Landon Weaver, Richard Terry down there doing the work on the field, getting Sam Sheff to come up and talk to us after his phenomenal 3 rushing touchdown game, which he put the Bruins on his back, accounted for 18 total points, and a 27-22 win over the Giles Spartans. We'll have Sheff in just a few moments. Again, the Hall of Fame Car Wash Player of the Game, Sam Sheff, set to join us right here on the Big Dog Sports Talk Network, powering Bruins radio football all season long. We'll be right back on the Big Dog Sports Talk Network with Sam Sheff joining us in just a few moments. All right, everybody, we're joined by the Hall of Fame Car Wash Player of the Game. It is quarterback for the Bruins, Sam Sheff. Sam, you had 3 rushing touchdowns tonight en route to your 27-22 win for the Bruins. Walk me through some of those plays because they were Houdiniacs, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, last year I really found the athleticism in me, and especially the one coming back this way. You just got to be an athlete sometimes, and it worked out, and hopefully it goes like that in the future too.
Being able to get your first win of the season in game 1, especially against a Giles team that it seemed like had you guys' number for a good portion of the contest, but you really found your way eventually late on in the fourth quarter. What does it mean to get a win like this in game number 1?
Yeah, I mean, they were way better than we thought they were going to be. They were very physical. It being my senior year, I really wanted to get that one, and just thinking about that in the back of my head is just I can't really lose to them my senior year. So I had to put the team on my back, and everybody else helped out, and yeah, it was a good team win.
For a guy like you that runs so much throughout a game, how do you feel and prepare throughout the school day in preparation for a game like this, especially when it's 85 degrees at the start? I'm sure that sun is high. I mean, look at the gear you have on, man.
Yeah, I mean, lots of water. I try to fill my water up after every block, and yeah, I mean, me and my quarterback coach do a lot of conditioning during practice. Run all the way down and then all the way back, and I really think my conditioning is helping me, and that's when I went and scored that way, got called back, and then I went the other way. I still had gas in me. So
now, one more question for you. Obviously, this is Philip Reese's first game as a Bruins head coach. He gets his first win. What has it been like? Because you've had a couple of different head coaches throughout your high school career with Blacksburg. What has it been like working with Philip Reese, and how happy are you for him getting his first win?
Well, he was on the coaching staff my first year of football in 6th grade, and he was always a big supporter in me, and he gets on you at times, but, you got to fight adversity, and when he gets on you there, we fought adversity, and we just did in the game too. So he coaches those all 5 days, and he really prepares our team to be successful in game.
All right, this is Sam Sheff, the Hall of Fame Car Wash Player of the Game. Blacksburg takes down Giles 27-22. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the Big Talk Sports Network, powering Bruins Radio Football.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, I'm now joined with my co-commentator, Richard Terry. We just with Sam Sheff, today's Hall of Fame Car Wash Player of the Game. Richard, as a whole, Blacksburg takes down Giles 27-22. What are a couple of takeaways you have from this big win?
You know, when I was down there trying to get Sam, I had the opportunity to kind of listen in to Coach Reese, who was giving a newspaper interview. And one of the things that stood out to me is that he doesn't want to win this way, right? He wants to find ways to win, but he's glad that these guys closed it out because, as we talked about before, that's something that they needed to overcome from last season. But at the same time, he wants to find better wins. So I think it's really something you have to look at in a split of two halves. The first half is not the way that Blacksburg wants to play. The second half, I think they'll love every second of that tape that they look at because, truthfully, it was dominating.
Dominating indeed. They trailed at the half, but they were able to bring it back, and they won 27-22 over the Giles Spartans on opening night. Blacksburg is 1-0. The Spartans coverage on the Prosperity Home Mortgage of David Marone post-game report. Sam Sheff, your Hall of Fame Car Wash Player of the Game with 3 rushing touchdowns and a big portion of leadership as well. Landon Weaver and Richard Terry with you on the Big Dog Sports Talk Network, your home for everything Blacksburg Bruins football in the 2026 season. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week when the Bruins take on James River away from home.